Fucking nerd.
And we're back. Another session of the Castle of Glass.
I didn't even know you hit the start button.
I did. I said, let's get our last minute thoughts out, and then we'll start. So we've begun. Anywho, so previously, you lot, this was one. You guys went into the jungles of Narnanjar. Jesus Christ, I don't know why that was so hard to say. Getting in there, finding the sacred site for the god Damascus. Managing to figure out his puzzle, get into without attracting the attention of any prehistoric denizens of the jungle. Getting in there, going down the path, falling into one pitfall, and then stealing away the bracers, triggering the trap that he had waiting for all of you, and you lot escaping back to town. Upon getting back to Morian Bay, I had to think about it. You were invited to join in the Lunar Harvest Festival that would be the next day. You were told festivities would probably be starting around midday, just as the lunar eclipse begins, and are welcome to partake in the festivities. You were also told that Cerberus will not be available during this time. He is locking himself in his room, and he is not coming out until after the eclipse is over. You would also know as well that... Where is he? Go away! Stop making noise. There we go. My computer started screaming at me for a second. Zoger will not be around either, as you all know that he is a werebore. So he will be staying in his room for the time.
What a lad. For his own safety.
Yeah, only his own. Not the safety of everyone else.
I have two wolves inside of me.
Bow chicka bow wow.
What the hell? Anywho, it is the next morning. What would you all like to do in preparation for the Lunar Harvest Festival? The rest of the tower is also preparing for it, as they heard about it from you all, and are preparing to also attend for the most part.
I'm getting my best muscle shirt on.
I'm just picturing your little dwarven dude wearing a yellow muscle shirt that says welcome to the gun show or something like that on it.
You're goddamn right.
Or even the best gifts come in fun size or something like that.
Even the best things come in fun size.
How are you preparing this morning, you lot?
I go tend to my dragon egg.
Shower, groom, and brush my fucking teeth, baby.
Get ready and get something like nice and, I don't know, sporty or something on. Because it's probably going to be fucking hot. And humid because it's on the water.
Liboog.
Just the basic.
Just basic?
Basic hygiene. Basic hygiene. I'm not changing any fancy clothes or anything.
He's still sweatpants and a hoodie. Just brushed his teeth. That was it. Maybe some deodorant or cologne or something. Just like, yeah, we're good.
Yeah, exactly.
Clearly covered in mud from your last expedition.
I said I took a shower.
Okay.
He's a clean boy.
That shower had never been used before.
We don't talk about that fact.
We don't talk about that fact. So, yeah. Anyone you'd like to talk to before attending said festival? Anywhere you'd like to go to like see if you can get anything? You'd like to
can I do a history check to see if I remember anything about the festivals that used to be held when I was younger?
Sure, roll me history.
While she does that, I'd actually like to change, because you said it was midday, right?
Yes, the festival begins. Yeah, so like people are out there before midday. The eclipse and all the like the fires that they usually make usually are around midday is when they do that.
I'm actually gonna go do some training in the training room and then do all my showering and stuff.
Okay, with a 16, you would remember previous years that you had done it or partaken in it, you had been normally you would go to the capital for it, go to Grandhelm, where they have the biggest of the festivals. This seems new. You don't remember them actually doing festivals in Morian Bay.
You
You
got it
had
right
heard
the
of
first time.
yeah, you have heard of small parties happening around Morian Bay, but never just like a huge festival here. So this must be something new within the last 200 so years.
New relatively.
Yes,
New adjacent.
new adjacent.
What's new with
Remus,
Jason?
the egg itself is, as you are kind of attending to it, there's a few moments like it shifts slightly, so it's getting close to the end of its incubation period. Not quite there yet, though.
It's almost time.
Another thing
Okay.
for me to play
Can
with.
can I do a check to see how much longer it has?
Nature.
Would I have read about it? Actually, fuck it. We'll just roll nature.
Nature is intelligence, so. I can't really. I have to tell you, probably 2 or 3 weeks. It could vary from that a little more, but like 2 or 3 weeks is the average of what you'll be expecting by this point.
Fog. All right. I don't know what to do with this. I'm gonna write this down. Can I? God, I wish there was a way for me to like set an alarm clock, but magically.
Set a magical alarm clock.
Yeah. Channel my tism. I'm gonna go downstairs with the rest of the group then.
I'm in the training room waiting till midday.
Okay.
Actually, I might. If I go downstairs, who would be down in the main atrium area?
I would assume Lebog. Let me pull up my list of people here. Lebog would be down there. Ria would probably be down there by this point. Xena has not made an appearance this morning. Aurelia would be sitting down there reading a book. Brom, Kodrak, and Giz would probably join you in the training room. Keto would be sitting on one of the couches, and Cypher would also be down there as well.
Okay. I'd go down and be like, "Do you guys wanna go check out the town and see if we could get any like outfits or anything from?" I don't know what this festival entails, but usually like festivals they have like attire that people usually wear, and seeing how we're all kind of dressed like a bunch of mercenaries picked up off the side of a dirty alley, we might want to get some good clothes.
Are you
No,
gesturing
when
to
I-
a certain
when I was
person when you
growing
say
up-
that?
I'm gesturing to the entire group.
I meant the
When I was
specific
growing up, I don't
on
remember
the side of an alley
throwing
thing.
tires. I don't remember wearing
The
tires.
alley.
Are you
Who out of the group right now looks the most?
are you
disheveled?
pointing at Lebog or are you pointing at Cypher? Because Cypher still has blood on his jacket.
Meanwhile, I'm getting fucking sweaty in the training room, weights and everything.
When my eyes fall on Cypher, I'm gonna kind of like hold up my hand, and where would the nearest water source be?
The kitchen.
All right. Is it close enough that I could see it?
No.
Oh, damn. I was gonna say I just summoned a ball of water in my hand as if I'm gonna wash him. But I can't do that. So I'm just gonna kind of look at Lebog. He looks a little disheveled. Look at the other one. Look at the blood. And just, hint, hint, wink, wink.
be vaguely racist and say that there's probably pet groomers in town.
What's been happening?
I didn't say that. Stop putting words in my mouth.
He definitely thought it though.
Excuse me. My character is just too young to know racism.
You're never too young.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it.
I
was
don't know,
waiting for
man.
someone to
You're
say
a
it.
freaking 12-year-old on the internet. I think the first thing you
You
learn
know how
is
to hack
fuck
people.
Racist.
Yeah.
Listen, I played RuneScape and shit. All right, I wasn't playing all of this fucking COD and everything.
Have you fucking played RuneScape, bro? Some of the most racist people I know from RuneScape.
We don't talk about it. We don't talk about it.
We don't talk about it.
We don't talk about that. We just that's their dark times. All right, they said they gave up on that. That's in the past.
You want to get worse? WoW players are probably worse. Anyways.
That's why I didn't say wow.
100%.
There's a reason I didn't say wow.
That was an evil chuckle. That was crazy.
I heard the chuckle.
Yeah,
and I
that's
got
all I
someone.
heard. Ooh, okay. Cypher does notice you say this and kind of like doesn't quite scowl, but does give like a look of like you didn't need to call him out type thing. And he just kind of puts his hands in his pocket and like walks past you to go upstairs.
Someone's a little butthurt.
Who did what?
Cypher's going to go change his jacket that's still covered in blood.
Oh. Like the 2 seconds I fucking missed, I was like, who did what?
Yeah. roll me a athletics scrum, and I'm gonna roll for Kodrak and Giz to see which one of you outperforms the others.
Oh boy, we're doing some fucking lifting, boys. Athletics, you said.
Yeah.
Where's my calculator? I got a 21.
21.
So Kodrak's not keeping up with you as well. You know, he's lifting a decent amount, but not as much as you are. Giz is outpacing you severely. To a point that you're pretty sure he's in a rage the entire time that he was lifting.
Just motherfucker over here just the entire time.
Like, if he wasn't covered in feathers, you would definitely see veins bulging out of his forehead, because you can see it in his eyes of just like they're strained, like he is just lifting as hard as fucking possible.
he's a till failure lifter, I see.
Yeah. And there's like a certain point that like he's trying to find a weight that's big enough, and he just instead grabs the racks that the weights are on and just starts curling that with the weight still on it.
My fucking boy. Holy shit. And
Oh,
the
Ben's-
entire time, I'm just like looking at the door and it's like, man, I'm surprised Kiri's not out here.
So Remus, are you gonna try to go out in the town?
Yeah. Oh, is any? No. You know what? Everyone else is taking their sweet damn time. I'm gonna go out. As
Okay.
soon as I step out the door, I'm gonna call for
Real quick,
Lupa.
like the hour or two before like noon hits, shower. I'm doing the morning getting ready routine.
Okay.
I'm gonna send you
Continue.
something on the side.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll step out and I will call for Lupa, and she will be my companion, and I'll head out the front door and go see what the town has to offer.
Okay. Rose, are you just hanging out until?
Oh, he
noonish?
died.
Who died?
You died.
I sent you a
Why
little
is,
text.
Why is Discord doing that? That was weird. I can see it doing it where it's just like my connection dropped.
Yeah.
That was
It was
weird.
only for a second, but it cut off like everything you.
Yeah,
you-
it did
you
it like 2 or
said.
3 times. So what is everyone else doing? Are you just chillaxing?
I'll be right back. Give me 1 second.
Probably just, hanging out, seeing how the city's changed over a span of 200 years.
Okay. Yeah, exploring the town. It's a bit bigger than it was, than what you previously remember. The shops around here are much nicer than they used to be. You do remember the Swashbuckler's Keep when you first had gotten there, or when you used to live there. It used to be a very small, dinky little tavern. Now it's significantly larger. The building that was next to it, it actually seems to have absorbed into itself and has made a bigger area of seating, as well as now a second story to this building. A lot of the goods and stuff here, there's a lot more exotic goods than you remember before, since trade has been very good. And you would notice, I would say, you guys have experienced her enough. You do notice some of Akira's logos kind of on a few of the buildings around here. It seems her reach has reached this town as well.
You're saying when I went out, I saw Kira's logos out on some of the buildings?
You and Rhea also went out looking around, but yeah, you guys would both notice that.
Okay. All right, Rhea. Remus steps out. You'd see him kind of mutter something, and the what size is a greyhound? Is that like a large dog? Is that considered a large dog? It's taller than him.
It's slightly smaller than a wolf.
Yeah.
Isn't it like really thin though?
Yes.
Yes, very thin.
They have very aerodynamic bodies.
The greyhound appears. It's very thin and wispy. Wispy. I like the word.
I believe it.
Thank you.
I
All right, let's go adventure. Do you have anything you need in particular, Rhea, or you want to kind of check stuff out as well?
I don't need much. I'm just nostalgic.
Okay. You're not gonna lie, sometimes I forget that you're like super old. Do you need me to like you know how to use Google Maps, right?
I wouldn't ever use a Google product.
Oh, you're a pair user, aren't you?
Yeah, you're a pair.
Air supremacy race.
They're a dragon fruit phone. Thank you very much. That's what we determined.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, you're right.
My bad.
You're a dragon fruit, aren't you?
And then the other
wait,
brand is jammers. That's what they're called, like the space.
I
Jammers.
do have to know, when Rhea uses her device, is she like one of those like geriatrics where they kind of like lift it up like at an awkward angle and kind of squint and then look at the phone, or like
do they other hand forefinger pick, or
yeah,
do they use
exactly
the thumb
yeah.
on the same phone?
How does Rhea use her electronics?
Well, I use a jammer. A jammer's type of boat. My family started in boats. We now work in electronics as well. We own the Jammer brand, actually. I only use jammers.
Okay. I'm gonna make a con saving throw real quick to see if Remus falls asleep. Let's see. All right. He stays awake. All right. You kind of see him like kind of nod off when you're talking.
Yeah, I know how to use a phone.
Okay. I'm just trying to make sure that I'm being, respectful of the elderly. My parents raised me to do so.
Did you talk backwards for a second?
No, I didn't.
Just like yeah.
You that sounded like a Star Fox character.
I said I'm just trying to be respectful of the elderly. My parents taught me that.
Imagine if you look at her phone, she has like the text size doubled or something.
Yes, yeah. Text size
Brightness
doubled.
maxed.
Yes. Every
Yeah,
time she opens it,
all-
it's a flashbang for everyone around her.
She swipes up. She has every application open. She just forgets to close them.
Oh
my
god,
mom.
I hate that so much.
Hey, can you help me? My battery life just isn't what it used to be.
That's my mom to a T. So yeah, that's accurate probably.
Okay.
Grandma, why do you have 78 apps open? What the fuck? You only have 3 on here. What do you mean?
I'll
Just use a
grab her
little power
hand.
mode.
I'll grab her hand and be like, "All right, let's go."
Okay.
Can I call you Nona? Is that okay?
What?
I'm just fucking with you. I'm just sorry.
You're
I'm
a little
just
young
playing.
to be doing that.
I'm
What
gonna
the
let go of her
fuck?
hand very slowly.
What's your language, young man?
You don't have like a wooden spoon on you, do you?
No.
Okay. Sorry. Let's go to the shopping area then.
Having flashbacks of my childhood that I don't remember.
Shout out. Never mind. I'm not gonna. Yeah, we're streaming.
Your character doesn't remember his parents or his mom or anything, but you remember someone beat you with a wooden spoon once and it just traumatized you.
It's just a blurry image.
Undisclosed figure beat you with a spoon.
I'm trying to remember the impression that I made on Akira and if it was good or not.
Spoon shaped.
I think I called her my mom. I did call her. Let me check my notes.
Let me check my note. I think it was after you guys did Timus's.
I did. Yeah, I have a note that says Akira
Timus.
and there's a dot below it and it just says mommy question mark.
Not even the same
What the
race. What do you mean?
No, it makes sense. This was post him sacrificing the
know.
memory, so it's fine.
Mommy? She's like, no, never.
Mommy? Question mark.
Do I look like your mom?
Yeah, do I look like your mom?
All right. Remus isn't necessarily like skipping down the road, but he is very joyful. It's like you have a cup of coffee and the caffeine hits you just right and everything's good. While I'm going down with Rhea, what kind of like what's the general, I don't want to say vibe, but what's the general atmosphere of the town right now?
Right now it's very busy. Not due to shopping specifically, but you see a lot of people taking like some of the shops are, pulling out supplies and putting them into carts to take them out to wherever the festival is, which looks to be on the western side of town, kind of out in the fields. Some shops are completely closed right now and they just have the note of closed due to until after the Harvest Festival. The companies that aren't from here but that have a like stall or a like building to themselves, such as the Yoshida business, those ones don't seem to be affected by the Harvest Festival. They also seem to be a little busy to try to get stuff out there, but at the same time they are not as busy. And looking around the shops as well, most of it is like common goods you would get from other places, like some metals, fish, different foods, common items, a couple magical shops as well. And then there's the few like exotic shops, like the Yoshida shop and stuff like that.
Would the Yoshida shop have clothing for the Harvest Festival, or is it still just their common goods that they
It would
usually
it would
sell?
be their common goods as well as the Yoshida's like they sell like kimonos and like more of a like, Japanese style clothing wear in their shop, considering that's what most of the clan wears that is a part of that business.
But nothing for the Harvest
No.
Festival. I'm specifically looking for like Harvest Festival if they would have any attire. Actually, fuck it.
You're noticing most people that are getting ready for this, not really getting fancily dressed up. The ones that are doing shop work, maybe dressing in like a shirt with their business logo on it, or like, you know, having some way to distinguish, like, hey, we're this business. But beyond that, like, people are just dressing in comfortable attire for the summer.
So Ria, do you want to go to anywhere in particular? We could always ask one of these owners or
I'm okay.
workers if they got anything.
I don't really, want to get my hopes up about seeing anyone.
Well, what do you mean?
Everyone I knew is mostly dead. I don't want to say, oh, I want to go to this shop and, expect to see a familiar face and, not see that, or the shop being gone, or so I'm not really, particularly trying to go anywhere. I'm fine just following you around.
Well, what kind of stuff do you like? Not just clothing, but like you got like a favorite food or I don't know.
know.
We usually just have conversations about like, hey, we're going into this new layer of ninth hell. What are we gonna do to prepare for it? That's cool and all, but that's like business talk.
I don't know. I used to like, going to the bookstore. My parents used to read me stories when I was younger, but it's not very exciting. My work mom taught me how to smith when I was little, so I used to always like going to the smithy, but I don't even know if they really have those anymore.
Hey, Lupa, can you go look for a smithy real quick, and I'll send the doggy off.
It doesn't make a fucking sound. Most dogs would bark in response. It just looks at you, and then just turns, like, you would hear it acknowledge you. Ria, all you see is this dog look dead,
master.
just look dead in the face of Remus, and then just turn and just jog off.
Well, I guess we should probably, I bet they have an event map or something. We need to find like some kind of, I think they have glasses now that make it so you don't go blind when the eclipse happens. People used to always look up the eclipse and like hurt their eyes, and that wasn't a good thing. So they have glasses now, and that's cool. I think they're usually free.
Oh yeah, we could go look for those.
I'm just picturing some dude on the street now with a sign, just don't wear the woke glasses. They're a lie. The whole thing from the last eclipse.
I'll grab her hand and I'll start heading towards the event epicenter, kind of. Along the way, could I keep an eye out for any bookstores?
Yes, you would be able to find one. There is specifically one that looks fairly old. That's called the Sailor's Tale. The actual sign itself is like either side of the words has like one side has like the head of a whale, the other side has like the tail coming out.
I'll point to that. You want to go there?
Sure. Yeah. That looks nice.
Yay! I like books.
Does your little friend know where to find us?
Oh yeah, she knows where I am at any moment. Sometimes she comes and visits me in my dream, and it's really fun because then I can actually like break out of the dream. Like sometimes I'll be getting chased, and then she'll appear, and then I'll go, "Oh, I'm in a dream," and then we can have like a little play date.
Okay. They call
Yeah.
that lucid dreaming.
Yeah, but this is a little different. This is more what's the word? I call it magical dreaming.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyways, let's go get some books. I do like touching books more than touching my iPad. It doesn't have the same feel, and I can't flip the pages the same.
You just haven't tried hard enough.
I have.
Don't
How-
mind the wrenching sound.
Yeah.
And how your screen fit those fancy colors. You do it.
Why
And
does
all
my
this pretty
laptop
spider
not
webs.
fold?
Oh! So you push into the shop. You know those shops that's like the really old ones where it's like you have a normal like an aisle within it that's like shoulder width, but there's not books just on the shelves. They're also on the ground around the shelves and like stacked high.
The best kind of
Yes,
bookshelf?
the
or
ones you would find
bookstore?
like
Yeah.
the ones you'd find stuff that no one even knows exist. Yeah, that's the kind of bookstore.
Yeah, we have all of those
Yeah.
in Seattle.
Yeah.
They're nice.
Yeah, you go inside.
It's true. That
There
is
is-
100% true.
There is a very old gnome man sitting upon like he's essentially sitting on a chair that has a stack of books on it and is just lounging on the top of these books with a pipe in his mouth with a book in his lap.
I'm
he
gonna
kinda
run up
just,
to him and wave.
Yeah. He just kind of,
Hey.
he closes his book and kind of leans over a little bit and just says, "How can I help you, little one?"
I'm gonna lean in and I'm gonna be like, I'm trying to. My friend's a little down right now, and we're trying. I'm trying to help her out, and she's mentioned she likes books, and she also likes smithing. So I found this place, and it looks good. You got any recommendations for stuff? Preferably, how old is she?
Oh, boy.
Like what? 200.
I'm trying to think.
Probably, I'd say 226 by this point.
Okay, so not gonna lie, I was gonna say between 200 and 300 years old. I was like, you got anything like that? She's a little eclectic.
He thinks for a second, and he kind of very nimbly slides off this pile of books and like lands without a sound next to you, and then kind of like keeping
The Tales of the Great War might be good, or something along those. That's the kind of era, you know.
He gives a nod, and he kind of heads into the back. You see him kind of like going through stacks of books. As he's going through, you do see like he pulls out. He kind of like pulls out a stack and kind of puts it to the side, and then you can see within this stack that he has like started to make. There is a few books on the Great War. There is two books in there specifically. One called the Heroes of Almoria, and the War of Sarstag and Almoria. There's also Puppy Love is also in that stack.
Oh no, they wrote down my war crimes.
They documented our war crimes. That's right.
If you guys
Remember that time that we
it-
firebombed a village?
I'm sure you did.
If you
was
guys
totally good
remember
at that
that last one, that was the smut you found in one of the bases that you had infiltrated.
I did actually.
I
I'm more worried
vividly
about the war
remember.
crime.
Because they handed it to Soap and said, "This is up your alley," and I was like, "What? Because I'm a Lupin?"
Yeah, you fucking bitch. Racist motherfucker.
Listen. Yeah, I remember it, but I'm all worried about my war crimes getting written down.
The leaking of your war crimes.
No, don't worry. There's no witnesses. We were efficient at that, at least.
Quill, you said you weren't gonna write them down.
Sure, a second extra galactic building has hit a city.
I'm just picturing you said, Quill, you were gonna walk him down. And he does like the like hands over head, they come down to tap his head and he bleps. I can't think of what the term is for that, like the anime thing.
I know the one you're talking
He's
about.
like,
Bleh.
yeah, that's pretty much what he does, and then scurries off with his book. Now I need someone to animate a Kenku doing that, and that'll just make my life complete.
You have
do
AI.
I do have AI.
It just doesn't have the same soul.
Yeah.
It's,
Anywho, yes, yeah, those, and then the last book that's kind of put upon this pile of the recommendations, is a history of Morian Bay and its, I guess like the businesses of Morian Bay.
That's specific.
Oddly.
I guess seeing little man pulling the books out, I'd probably take that one first because it was just put down soonest, so it's on top.
I'm gonna grab the Book of the Heroes of Almoria, since Remus, while he can't remember his mother, was raised by his father on the stories of that.
Okay. And he says, the gnome, as you start like looking at these, like, let me know if I can help you find anything else. Heads back over to his
I'll
seat.
hand him a gold piece for helping.
Oh, well. How kind
In
of
her
you.
mind,
And
she's
he,
just like,
takes that.
don't you mean let me gnome? In her mind.
All right. Yeah, so you kind of stand in here, with this pile of books, kind of just reading through. Shop isn't particularly busy. It doesn't seem like a lot of people come through. It seems that just enough come through that like he stays in business, or the town just wants to keep him around, so they're not going to get him. They're not going to kick him out. It's one of the two options. Looking through the books, Remus going through the one you recognize the stories, specifically the ones of the heroes that had saved Almoria. Trying to remember who's on. Kellic, Bloodfang is one of the names mentioned. A monk that went by Kosho. I have to actually pull up my damn list now because I'm starting to forget all of the characters from that damn campaign. Because it's been so long. This is not the right one. Who is this? Oh, that's why. It's timeline 2. I was messing with something. Okay.
I was about to say, you're not gonna show them.
I don't have the pictures of these characters.
Show, Mark, no show. Cool.
The Aarakocra Orion, who had lost his life in the final fights of protecting Orion, who died in the final fights to save Almoria from whatever catastrophe was happening at the center of the country. As well as a few other names that were mentioned within the book as you kind of skim through it. You see Jabbers, a Kenku by the name of Jabbers that was in there. A mentioning of Zeldrif, the Archmage of Almoria, as well as another Archmage who went by Agrog. Thallo is also noted within the book. And then for Rhea, going through it, you can see it is a record of kind of the development of Morian Bay over the last 1,000 or so years. It has a chapter within the book of the deep waters and the black tides, how they were competitors before merging at some point. There's mentioning of the Adventurers Guild for the town as well, the history with that, as well as it mentions a company that no one seems to remember the name of for the town, but there is record that there was a company that used to run the docks, or at least a section of the docks, before just disappearing, and no one knows why.
It's mysterious. When was this book written?
This book is just about 150 years old.
Okay. About 50 years after I disappeared. Can I do a history check to see if I remember anything about that company?
Sure.
Only an 11.
You have no recollection of it. You remember hearing something about it in passing, but you don't have any specific details beyond what this book has.
Okay. I'm gonna be my character's vain enough to see if her parents will be mentioned.
They are mentioned in there. Yes.
I was gonna say to Rio, I was like, does your book have the other group as well? Because this one has the group that was in the fight with Almoria. They even got the story about them fighting the giant mechanical dragon.
Oh, well, let me see that.
Oh, I'll pass her the book.
Is this one of them fancy picture books?
No. I could describe it to you.
This is one of them.
I
fancy
can read.
picture books.
I was just wondering if there's pictures in there because I wanted to see if there's any picture of my parents.
I'll cast minor illusion and have like a picture of the other group floating in the air.
That would be really funny.
Roll me a performance to see how accurate you are.
The lower the roll, the more is just like 6-finger chat GPT garbage.
Yeah. 2 right hands.
Oh, that's a critical fail.
You produce cartoony stick figures of these characters. They're not indistinguishable from each other in any way. Do not show what
an
race they
actual
are.
0.
Yeah.
That's
I do have a
That's-
-1.
humorous. I'm gonna take a look at the text and see like what mechanical dragon he's talking about.
You see note of a their fight against a in the Battle of Stone Farm. You see a note of them fighting the augmented red dragon and defeating it before being caught in the explosion as it blew itself up after being killed.
I
And
forget
Mer-
who
and-
killed that thing.
that was the party with Orion and Kosho and them. Your parents' party is not mentioned.
At all.
No.
I'm gonna furrow my brow.
Yeah, it was the other group.
Yeah, and you would know that the stories that are in this book are ones that your mothers had never told you because they didn't experience these moments. This is the other half of the coin that was the fight against Arthstag that was recorded because it all happened in Almoria instead of happening between the meat grinder and Tiberia, I want to say it was called.
We went everywhere but Almoria.
You guys spent like you guys spent like 3 weeks in Almoria, and then like the next the next 3 or 4 zeniths, you guys were in other
Everywhere
parts of
else.
the world.
Yeah, the other group was like, we are Almoria. The other us, we were just like, we are covering the rest of the
They
continent.
never left Almoria. Let me note that. The reason
Yeah,
the only reason they did the final fight with you guys is because after they killed the Skullhound, they were teleported to the final fight. You guys went to the site of the final fight and were teleported up above it. So
They forgot to leave the starting zone.
yeah.
They were the DEI hires of that final fight.
Yeah.
It reminds me
What
of
the fuck?
like those people. I don't know, like I was on that Star Wars game I kept on mentioning out loud. It's like some people like, oh, I spent like 20 hours in the game before leaving the starting planet. And it's like I beelined it like as soon as I got my ship everywhere else but the starting planet.
Shit, that was me in fucking Pokemon Arceus. I didn't leave the first zone for the first 20 hours.
Just gonna 100% it and then move on.
Yep, that's what I was trying to do.
Being
Alright.
literally a game.
Yeah.
When was this book written?
That one was specifically written probably a year or 2 after you disappeared.
You know, Journey was an author. I wonder if she wrote a book about it. Her side.
The gnome. You got any books by Journey? What's her last name?
Well, her name. She went back to her birth name after she became a cleric, so it would be under Anelia. Once her journey was over, she went back to her birth name.
He kind of taps his chin for a second and says, I think I did at one point, but I think I want to say some gentleman came in and bought it out. I don't think I have another copy.
Do you happen to have a record of that transaction?
I actually do. And he turns and you see him like go to like a desk that's like actually his height and like reach into this chest and pulls out a tome that's like, this thing probably looks like it weighs 100 pounds. And this is a frail looking old man who casually picks up this giant tome, drops it, dust shoots everywhere.
He's
And he-
hunched as fuck.
And then he just kind of flips through it like really rapidly. Like this thing's a good like 2 feet wide, like in thickness. And he's just flipping through the pages. And he kind of pulls out a set of glasses, sticks them on his face, like half spectacles or half moon spectacles, whatever. And flips through it and kind of nods and says, "Yes, I sold it. Every book I had by her to a gentleman about a zenith ago."
That's curious.
What? Are you at liberty to say who?
I didn't get a name. He paid with cash.
What do you look like?
Yellow furred, tabaxi individual, a little plump around the face.
How quickly are you able to copy down manuscripts or text?
Oh, what do you mean by that? You saying rewrite the book?
I'm gonna look at Rhea and like, I kind of want to make sure my dad's story gets told. Do you think I should make a copy of the journal and just tell him not to sell it right away?
I mean, I don't exactly know if that's this gentleman's trade, but you know, it's probably a good idea to back up what you have.
I could do it for you. Would I be able to buy like a blank book?
Sure, I have one or two around here somewhere, and he's kind of like going through little shelves behind his little workspace. Kind of pulls out like a very old leather-bound book that like it clearly is just a journal. He says, "I'm sure this will do." Kind of offers it to you.
Can I get the other one as well?
You're talking about the like another.
Yeah, just another blank book.
He nods. He puts down the first one, goes and walks back, grabs the second one. Similar, different colored leather, but similar kind of journal. Puts it down. In front of you.
I'll have one copy to you probably by the end of today, and then I'll make sure the other one gets back to you at some point. You're gonna have the first edition of both of these.
He kind of looks intrigued and gives a nod. Says, "I look forward to whatever you're able to make, kid."
Okay, I'm gonna grab the first book. I'm gonna use Mage Hand to have it open up and hold open, and then I'm gonna use my quill, and I'm gonna have it, since I have the feet, from memory, just start writing down the journal. And then the other one, I'm gonna just take out another quill. I'm gonna start writing that manually.
Okay, yeah. He just kind of watches, like, very intrigued by like this. Kind of leans back, takes a few, pulls from his pipe, kind of shoots a few like smoke rings in the air while he's waiting.
And
Rhea-
I'll specify. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was gonna say I'll specify the one that the quill is copying down is my father's journal. The one that I'm currently writing is the adventures that we've been on so far.
Okay. Ria, what are you doing in this time?
While he does that, I'm gonna ask if the gentleman here might be able to furnish me a list of the books that customer bought. Just she'd say, I'm interested, in this author, and I was wondering if you might be able to tell me which books he bought so I could search him up.
Yeah. So he gets you a list. 3 books. The first one is a book of songs from all over the world. The second one is she had labeled it as the struggles in Obscurus. And then the last one was the Aid in it was called Aid in a Dark Place, and it was about the Great War.
Okay. Do you know if this author wrote anything else?
We back?
He kind of thinks. He goes, not that I've seen, but it's not outside of the question, as I'm clearly still missing some volumes of various things.
Thank you. She's gonna she's gonna think like, oh, maybe like there's like a online article on the author, or like like there's a lot of online databases she wants to check.
Yeah.
Some authors just fall into like complete obscurity, and other ones like have like followings. So she kind of wants to check, and maybe like next time she goes to like the family manor, she check out the library and see if like there's anything else to find.
Yep.
Kind of like trying to, because she would like to like read through that stuff. She hadn't even like thought to consider that, there's stuff written that maybe like her mom meant to leave her or anything.
All right. Is there anything else you'd like to do in this bookshop? Or are you guys just wrapping up your transactions and dipping out?
Yeah, I'll probably try to pick up this book anyway. Dragon Shield. I don't have it on me, but the attunement, it's there. I'm just gonna look pleadingly at Remus.
Sorry, I just got back. What happened?
She's trying to buy a book, but the Dragon Shield is not letting her give up gold again.
So she's looking
how much-
pleading at you.
How much do I owe you for everything in your time?
He
I'll
shrugs.
kind of look up after writing.
Yeah, he just kind of shrugs and says, a gold should suffice for whatever. It'll suffice for the book, and then we're using the blank journals. But if anything comes out of that as well, I can always reach out to you in the future if it makes money and give you a portion of the spoils.
I don't want any money from the journals I give you. I just want to make sure that the story continues. My dad's biggest fear and mine is being forgotten, which is why he was a collector of artifacts, so that he would ensure that someone would at least remember the past.
Well, that's quite a common fear. A lot of people trying to leave their mark on the world. But all right, yeah. Well, if that's the case, just take the book. You already gave me a gold piece, anyways.
Is your shop doing well, if you don't mind me asking?
It's doing well enough to keep me happy, as well as keeping people coming to look at an old man's collection.
I'm gonna look at Rhea. The shield's talking to you?
Should be kind of like, yeah. I'm like not like vocally, but kind of like, I don't know, like somewhat like a guilty kind of nod.
Remus is he'll put down the journal he's writing on. The pen, the quill, and the other book are still going. And he'll go over to the man and he'll give him 60 platinum.
He looks a little surprised. Says, you sure you want to give this to me, kid? This is an awful lot of money. They're just randomly give an old man.
Life's too short to worry about money. And I want to ensure that you stay around. I have to get my journal to you eventually, so I can't have you closing shop before that.
That's quite kind of you, kid. And you seem to have collected a lot more wisdom than most people do, even to my age. You must have been raised well.
Remus is gonna smile. Rhea, can you roll
Insight?
Yeah, I was gonna say, can you roll an insight?
Sure. I don't have any bonuses there, but 7.
Yeah, that's not gonna be enough.
Alright. Yeah, you just
I will be right
you
back.
just see him smile.
I'm
And
without
he's
clue.
like, yeah, you could say that. I'll make sure these journals get to you. If I can't deliver them myself, I'll make sure that they get to you one way or another.
What a kind gesture.
He gives a nod and says, well, I appreciate it. And wherever life may take you, I hope it is only to places of safety.
I'd hope as well. Alright, I think
immediately gets shot.
The mean streets of Morian Bay.
Yeah.
Would I have heard anything back from Lupa?
She would have found a blacksmith. That is about a old style blacksmith who specifically deals with repairing metalwork for a lot of the ships that come through here. And occasionally we'll work on a weapon or two if someone brings one that needs to be repaired.
No, yeah. Oh, they're like, I hope you have a good rest of the day and enjoy the festival, sir. I'll turn to Rita and be like, Lupa found a blacksmith. They do mainly ship work, but my memory serves me right, which it should. Your mother spent quite a bit of time, sailing.
It's correct. What a kind gesture.
Oh, I could take you there.
Sure.
Maybe, what time? We got time.
By this point, it's like
Lupa-
10 o'clock in the morning. You have about 2 hours before stuff really starts popping off.
Yeah.
If it's no trouble. Appreciate that.
I got nothing else going on. I just need to get out of the tower.
I feel that.
Yeah,
I'll start heading out and wave goodbye to the little gnome boy.
He gives you, a nod, a farewelling nod as well, as he, takes another pull from his pipe. You all head to the blacksmith. It is the blacksmith name you see is the Iron Belly Forge. You can see inside there's probably a good 7 or 8 forges within this building or within this space, and you can see majority of the people working in here. There is a number of golden dragonborns that look to be related, a number of dwarves, and then a handful of humans and half-elves as well that are working in this place. And you can see them all kind of hammering away at hooks for ships, as well as one is in the back repairing an anchor that is needing to be restored.
Would I have ever come here as a kid?
You would remember this place. Roll me a history check. Let's see how much you would remember this place. You would remember the place being smaller, though, is one thing.
I get an advantage or a
I'll say advantage because this is a familiar space. Definitely
27.
needed that. Okay. You remember that this wasn't once called the Iron Belly Forge. It was once called the Scorch Fang Forge because it was owned by the Scorch Fang clan, which is a Golden Dragonborn clan that was prominent in this area for a time. And it seems they've kind of expanded and changed the name because there's more conglomerates now a part of it. You do also remember
Sense.
they used to specialize in weaponry. They also did ship stuff, but they specifically specialized in like making weapons and armor and shields and stuff like
Is there somebody who looks to be in charge?
that. You see a very old golden dragonborn kind of off to the side, arms crossed. You can see he's got scars over one side of his face, his eye kind of fogged over. Several actual burns on his scales. Is probably one of
And
the
what-
biggest people in here too, like muscle size.
And what'd you say the family name was?
The Scorch Fangs.
I'd approach the gentleman and I'd ask, excuse me, could you tell me if the Scorch Fangs still own this smithy?
He kind of grunts and just, for the most part. There's a few other families that are part of it now.
Okay. I used to come here as a child, and I know you used to do beyond work ships. You used to do work on armor and weaponry. Do you still take special orders?
We do. We don't. Well, the younger ones don't specialize in it anymore. I still dabble with a few weaponry. What are you looking to get made?
It's not much made. I was wondering if you might be able to take a look at my gear and I don't know, maybe do some improvements on it.
If anyone could in this forge, it would be me.
I guess out of my bag or something, I'd take out my mariner studded leather and my rapier. My mother's forged this rapier for me when I was a young child. It's been well over 200 years ago now. Well, this armor's nice, but I feel like the fit could do to be improved, and well, I think I'd feel a bit closer to home if I knew the metals that went on our ships. Well, if I was wearing that.
I think I can do something. I can definitely improve this rapier. It's definitely seen better days. And he's kind of like looking it over, kind of like running a finger along like the edge of it and stuff, and says, "Give me 24 hours. I can get something done."
Okay, I'll turn the items over to him. So, thank you.
He gives a nod, takes him over to the side, and then kind of shouts something in Draconic to one of the others, who like kind of turns and looks at him, kind of like surprised, and like quickly backs away from the forge as he comes over with the two pieces of like your equipment over and sets him down, and then just like turns and starts shouting orders at this one dude who's just like, "All right, fine," and then so runs off to like go get stuff for him.
I'd ask before I go. Out of curiosity, I'm sorry if this is a rude question. How old are you?
He chuckles and just says, "Not many ask me for my age, but I think I'm gonna say 96. I think is where I'm at now. I kind of lost count."
And I don't know you.
Excuse me, sir. Would would you know anyone who works on magical tattoos?
Not around here. I know there's a few people that travel around in the area, or at least in Almoria as a whole. You'd probably have a better chance finding them in Grandhelm or Greyborough.
Okay. I was hoping to get another one added, and I didn't know if that would be under your capability.
Not good with needles, but a hammer. And you see him like pick up like the hammer used to like on the anvil and stuff. He's like, "This is more my style."
Well, if you got something that would work as a good supplement, and Remus would put down the handy haversack, and he'll take one arm out and take the other arm out, and then lower his shirt, and he'll turn around, and you'll see on his back is the tattoo of, it kind of looks almost like a shield and a what would be like a two-handed, like a war hammer hitting it.
I'm not this child's guardian, and I did not permit him to get those tattoos.
He
It's
kinda
a barrier tattoo.
he looks a little confused and says, No, I don't have any specialty with that sort of things. I work in materials, not magic."
Huh. Well, you see, I don't do close quarters stuff. So if you have anything that might help out in surviving, or something I could use, I'll pay good money for it. And I'll start putting my shirt back on.
He says, "You might want to try one of the magical shops. Considering," he kind of like looks you over and he's like, "You don't look like the type to wear armor, kid."
That's why I got the tattoo.
Kind of shrugs. Just says that makes sense, even though you are a bit young to have one of those.
My parents wanted to make sure I was protected, and I would always get myself into a little bit of trouble, so. But my pain tolerance is pretty high. It wasn't that bad.
Kind of gives a nod and is just like unsure of like how else to respond to this.
Just drop that on him.
Yeah.
Boom. It's not that bad. They're acting like I just showed them like fucking whip scars and like lashing marks.
Anyways, around this point it's about 11:30, so like you would.
Okay. All right. Yeah. What? When will your stuff be ready, Rhea? You know?
Oh, he said about a day.
Okay. All right. Well, we should probably head back to the rest of the group so we could go to the festival.
Okay, cutting back to those in the tower. Lebog, sitting in the main room, you would have noticed as time went on, people just one by one leaving the tower. The first of the ones you would have saw leave would have been Lucky. You would have seen her leave around 9 o'clock. Already looking a bit intoxicated. And as she walked out, holding a flask in hand as she walks out the door.
Classic.
After that, one by one, people start leaving. Cypher kind of walking past you in a now clean hoodie. Heading out, following behind Asvlor and Timus. And then the last two to leave, which would be after... Oh, he's gone. I didn't even realize he left the chat, like, entirely. What happened to Grom?
Well,
Did
earlier
be
he
right
said
back?
he'd be back.
Yeah.
And he hasn't been back.
I didn't even realize he left the chat, because I have the, like, that shit turned off. Yeah, I have no idea where he went. Anywho, Grom would have, after Grom and them would have left the training hall or whatever, they all would have gone upstairs past you, and then Kodrak and Giz would have walked out long before Grom came down. And as Remus and Rhea returned to the tower.
returned. I'm sorry.
Okay. I didn't even realize you left like fully. I just thought you had muted yourself.
Oh no, I was doing server stuff. I'm sorry.
Okay. You all come back together in the tower. The rest of the tower has already vacated.
Oh. Damn. Fucking. Well, what's their fate? Lucky and Kiri just left without me, even though I was the one who invited them out.
Lucky was the first to have left, and she was already drunk. And it was 9 in the morning when she left. And then Kiri wandered out not long after that. The last people to leave were Kodrak and Giz. After you finished your workout, you all got cleaned up, and they left before you got down. Upon you all gathering, though, anything you want to say to each other, or are you just heading straight out to the town and out to the festival?
I would assume I'd probably be napping on the couch until they eventually come and, we go.
Yeah. Okay. So you all head out just before noonish as you guys are making your way across the main, marketplace of the town. You can see off in the distance, probably a good 200-300 feet away from the town itself, you can see the festivities beginning to start. There are multiple large bonfires that are being lit, as well as a few smaller ones. And as you guys kind of hit the edge of town, there's the air itself almost goes still, and everything around you almost, not the people, but the environment almost seems to freeze for a moment as everything gets slowly darker until it is almost middle of the night dark. And as you guys kind of glance up, you can see in this moment the two moons move in front of the sun, and the sky is completely blacked out. And thus
Damn, he fucking started before we even got out.
Yeah, thus the lunar eclipse has begun. And as it happens, you hear a lot of people kind of out there kind of start hooting and hollering or whatever as the festival begins or whatnot. I need to change the music. This music. I picked a different song for this moment because it felt better. And you guys get a map. As you guys approach, you approach one of the large bonfires, kind of the one closest to the town itself. There you go. You guys should all be able to see the map here in a moment. I can see it's slowly transferring everyone over. Maybe. Maybe it's not.
It's a loading.
Is it?
It's just taking forever. I'm at 72%.
It doesn't even look like the others are loading. Are you guys getting a loading screen, or are you guys just on the bonfire still?
I'm loading. I'm stuck.
It's almost done loading.
Okay.
Okay, so
Hey, there I am.
I'm
There
just
you
about
go. You all see yourselves. I did it.
Why is everyone evil?
Ignore that. I don't change that, so it just shows them as evil automatically because
Oh god, roll for initiative.
everyone. Murderer! Sorry, I had to give Buster back his trauma for our last honor run. Murderer!
No.
Roll initiative.
You had to wait until I walked up to someone. Come
That's
on.
right. Upon approaching, looking around, first off, you'd see on the other side of the bonfire 3 familiar faces immediately. Aurelia is hanging out by this bonfire, as well as 2 of the Black Tides, Sabine and her husband, Merrick, are also hanging out not too far away. Looking off to the right, though, Lebog you would notice first. The familiar satyr figure of Quilpanis, kind of hanging out on the edge of the firelight. He kind of looks towards you, kind of giving you a smile of sorts with a drink in his hand that he kind of raises into the air.
I shoot him a very disgusted look.
I'm gonna use the Mask of Many Faces, and before we get out here, I'm gonna take the disguise of a older dwarven gentleman.
I'm going to check my phone, and I'm going to message my gal pal, see if she wants to come over.
You see her on the other side of the fire.
Oh, she's on the
That's
other
it.
side?
Yeah. I may have said her name wrong. Yeah, there she is.
There she is.
I'm just gonna use this.
I think you said Aurelia.
Yeah. Elra. Elira.
Yeah. Elira.
Elira.
I was confused because
Yeah,
Aurelia is a different person.
Yeah. Yeah, her. She is there. She's
I'd probably
sitting
go
upon
over.
one of she's sitting upon one of the stumps by this fire.
Zoom over. Zoomies.
While we're here,
That way.
the book and quill is still going.
Yep.
Not surprised. Damn, there's a lot going on. I don't know what to do first. What are these?
These
Eh,
Oh, those are vendors that are just kind of out here.
hell yeah! I'm gonna walk over and see what they got going on.
Okay.
I'm gonna do a high five to this man as I go. I was like, "Hey man, what's up?" I do like the
it
gang
is John.
signs, handshake, you know.
Yeah, you see John. He kind of like gives you a nod. You can see too why he is out here. He's actually wearing an eye patch over one eye, specifically the yellow one right now. That's
Yeah.
to be a little under the radar. But he gives you a nod as you walk by. I see Remus approaches a woman who's hanging out on the edge of the fire. There's something you'd like to say to this woman, Remus, as you scuttle over to her.
Well,
Don't say
What is-
scuffle.
yeah, no, Dad. I look like a grown adult right now. Thank you very much.
Spider
have-
walk up to this lady in your dwarven form?
I do also have Lupa with me. She is accompanying. I want her to have fun. What is this lady doing? I didn't know what was happening. I was just intentionally put myself next to her.
You see as you kind of walk over to her, she looks over to your party, kind of watches each of you go by, and she almost seems disappointed as she seems to be looking for someone.
Why the long face?
She glances towards you and says, I was waiting for someone, though they seem to not be making an appearance tonight.
They're dodging out on you. That's never fun.
It wouldn't be the first time.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Are you from the area? Or this is my group and I's first time to this festival, let alone the area, so.
Oh no, I'm not from around here at all. I came expecting to find someone, though they don't seem to be with you tonight. It's
With
quite a shame.
us?
Precisely.
Who were you looking for?
An Allen girl, roughly yay high.
Oh, Zinna!
I expected her to be here. She's not. I had something to
Yeah.
discuss with her.
She's been locked up in her room. Honestly, I haven't seen her all day. If you need, I could relay a message, unless this is more personal, at which point I I don't want to get involved.
It's more of a task I wanted her to get, but done for me. But I could wait.
Task. You don't mind me asking, what kind?
She has access to some things that I would like to get my hands on just for a brief moment, for my own curiosity's sake, as well as
You
to introduce me to some people that I've not been able to get anywhere near.
You're referring to the artifacts, and by the people, do you mean the owner of the tower?
Perhaps.
Well, then, while Zena may not be here, I could stand in her place if you have questions or as such.
How would you
I'll-
feel about... I know the way you all access this little tower of yours, as I have been keeping an eye on her for some time. Considering the type of relationship we share, would it be terrible to give me access to such a thing?
Can I do an investigation on her?
What are you looking for?
Anything look off? And I will also add, when she asks this, I'll say, if you don't mind me asking, what's your relations to her?
Yeah, roll me insight would probably be the best thing.
I have an idea of where this is going. I haven't read the notes for this session, so this is just pure instinct. I got a 27.
Yeah, she says, mostly a business type relationship. I've known her ever since she was, well, since the day she was born. I've been there for her for quite a long time, have guided her through a lot of periods of her life, and still here and there do give her aid for things.
I'm gonna say the 27. Does that tell me that my suspicion is right? You don't have.
You get the feeling this individual definitely is not what she looks like. She's definitely disguising herself.
That's all I needed to know.
Yeah. And you can definitely you get a feel for the way that she is wording things. She is very careful about her words, the way she talks.
I'm gonna kind of look around and be like, why don't you? Let's get a little bit out of earshot of everyone. I think that would probably be best, wouldn't you agree?
If you've seen through my ruses, I think you have. Sure.
I look at her and wink and be like, have you seen through mine?
Oh, long before you got over here.
Ah, so there's no point in keeping it, and I'll drop the illusion. And there we go. Okay, so you're her benefactor.
Yes.
It's a pleasure to meet you formally. While I myself am not one to make pacts, I know that not all of your kind is the same. Oh, who joined?
He just got booted for a second and then reappeared.
My Discord exploded.
Yeah, that's what I assumed. I saw you go down and I was just like, he died. Oh, he's back.
It even bring the notepad I was taking notes on with it. I was like, what the fuck?
Everything is gone. She kind of raises an eyebrow and says, I'm impressed someone your age could see through my disguise that's been so carefully woven. Though, I guess it is too close to my actual appearance.
If you don't mind me asking, would we be able to refer to each other on a first name basis, or are you one of those that's too worried that knowing someone's name has too much power over the individual? And I'll kind of make a gesture with my hands.
She gives a smile and she says, "The name I go by is not my actual name, but you can call me Delgora."
Delgora, pleasure to meet you. I'm Remus Ironheart, but you already knew that.
Precisely. And I knew of your father as well.
Before we get down that rabbit hole, what message would you like me to relay to Rhea? And then we could get into the second part of your request.
Simply wanted just to discuss with her the possibility of her willingly giving me access to the tower to visit as I see fit. As I promise not to interrupt or be in the way of anything that you are doing, as well as taking any of your artifacts, as I am not even permitted to be carrying such things, as my status in the Nine Hells doesn't allow me to interact with them beyond a certain degree. But there is a lot to be learned from them, and I wish to do my own research, if that makes sense.
Neither myself nor Rhea would necessarily be able to grant you those permissions. I could ask the owner of the keep. However, for our own safety, what insurance would you provide?
She thinks for a moment, says, "Xena is really the insurance you would need. I have a pact with her and have no need to interrupt what task she's already been given by me, which was specifically to start acquiring these artifacts and getting information on them." Though, if it is so necessary, I could write up a pact of some sort. Nothing too binding that would relinquish a soul or anything else to me, but would just simply give you the peace of mind that I will not interfere in any of your affairs.
How about if you overstep? Well, first, you would have to talk with the owner. But if you were to overstep any boundaries or seek any loopholes around such requests, Lupa here might have to get involved.
She chuckles slightly and kind of looks over to Lupa, who, eyes her with a silent intensity. And you get the sense that, she kind of turns to you and says, "Well, I don't think we'll have such a problem. Though if you can, I guess, get me a meeting time with your three-headed master, that would be wonderful."
I could relay the message.
Well,
I'll hand her a sending stone and go, this. Yeah, I know Xena can probably get in contact with you, but this way you could get quicker response. We'll get back to you with an answer. Does that work?
that works perfectly fine with me. And you watch as she kind of holds up the stone, and then like a twirl of hellfire goes around it and it vanishes.
I do have to ask, from my own curiosity, why all of a sudden you've decided to take an interest?
Oh,
I know that we've acquired a little more, but Why now?
I've had an interest for quite a while, but some circumstances have come up that have made me... Desperate's not the word I would want to use, but something attuned to such a thing.
I.e., you never had an inn before until now.
I could have asked Xena at any time, but I think she's grown quite fond of the gifts I've given, as well as knows that I could offer protections that may not be necessarily available.
Your kind's always interested me.
I mean, insight.
Never enough to make a contract, but you've always interested me. I'm gonna roll insight.
You can tell
23.
that she has other motives, though they are not malicious. You can definitely tell, but you can tell a slight bit of desperation in like just underneath the layer of her words.
I'm gonna kind of look around. No one is paying attention to us. Yes.
No one is looked toward. Like people have glanced towards you, but they're not really thinking anything of the situation.
Is the Nine Hells worried about the stability of the realms?
Oh, dear no. They would rather see the material plane burn and be turned into something similar to the Nine Hells. My worries fall in a more personal range of things.
Is she lying?
You can definitely tell that this is a very selfish desperation she has. Whatever is happening with her is strictly to benefit her in a situation because something is happening.
Put my hands up and I'm like, I'm not gonna pry. That's between you and your compatriot.
Smart boy.
However, if... No, I wasn't done. I was gonna say if someone like you is getting your hairs on end, something big is happening. You wouldn't happen to want to share a little bit of that information, would you?
You lot have all the answers you would need for knowing my situation as well. She's gonna kind of turn, kind of waving, her hand in the air. And says, I look forward to whatever meeting you manage to get me with the pup. She's gonna walk off this way.
I'll look at it and I'll go, I could let you look at a couple pages of the journal if you got some useful information.
She pauses. Slowly comes back. It says, and what kind of information would be so useful to you?
What exactly we're getting into? I have an idea, but something... The pieces are on the board, but I have yet to figure out the...
She puts.
I haven't figured out the sides yet.
She kind of puts her hand out, like kind of slowly, to have you hand her the book, and then like kind of you get the idea that if you hand her the book, she will tell you, and then she'll look at the book.
I'll let you read some of it. I'll let you read some of it. Give me an idea of where, and I'll let you read those. I'm not going to hand you the whole book.
Now, which is it? Your tome that you're giving her, or is it your dad's journal?
How much have I been able to copy down?
Most of it by this point.
Okay. All right. I can pull the pages out individually.
Okay.
So that's why I'm asking her for a range.
She mentions the curiosity of the later entries of the book, as she wasn't able to get that information before.
I'll give her some, and I'll say, this is some of it. Depending on what you're able to give me, I'll give you a little more. And I'll give her the initial half of like the end.
She kind of sees it, and slight frown on her face. This is fine. The reason for this little endeavor is because we share the same threat now, as I unknowingly have put my own head on a radar of sorts. And now your little crusade that's been trying to kill you is also now trying to dispose of me.
Okay, but how does that help us?
If I go away, so does Xena's abilities.
A loss of a member isn't the end of the world. Do you know what we're up against?
I know that that little follower, or not follower, that little tyrant that is leading that group is unrelenting and will kill anything in her path in order to get what she wants. And this might just be a recommendation, but the fires are looking rather secure tonight.
The fires are looking secure tonight. What? Huh? What? Just gonna
Take
yeah,
it
I
at
would
face
hope.
value.
Yeah. She just kind of
Okay,
like.
so you're saying the area is safe? Is that what you mean?
She just kind of side eyes you as she's looking at the page that you gave her. Kind of giving you a look of, you'll figure it out.
I'll give her the next journal entry, not the rest.
Okay.
You didn't give me much.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I'll give you.
She takes it with a smile, kind of looks it over, and says, let me put it this way. You all have pissed her off royally. Thus, the reason also I've made my appearance is your actions have cost me some security, as my own vessel is now under possible siege if they manage to find it. And let's just say the one they sent next is one that will consume all that's in her path.
You wouldn't happen to want to store your vessel in the tower, would you?
That was a possibility, though would want Xena to be the only one to know where it's stored away at.
You'd have to also let the master of the house know, but seeing how he does have a sadistic curiosity in magic, he honestly might let you, under the right circumstances.
The tales I've heard of him were all but correct. Sorry, that's the wrong thing. They were all correct. I said that wrong. That's not what she said. She said all the tales I've heard about him have all been correct.
Is it true that he had something to do with the missing military complex back during the war?
That is the rumor. If it's true or not, you could ask him yourself. Though I'd recommend doing it after the eclipse is done. He may not be the most civilized to speak with at the moment.
Yeah, you don't say. And I'll snap my fingers, and the pages will return to the book.
Snapping your fingers sounds painful.
You can only do it. You can only do it 10 times, and then you have to wait for them to heal.
Fucking,
Nah, Remus is
get
good. He
through
got a
My Hero
16 on the
Academia.
con save.
Snaps it back. She
I got a 16 on the con save. It's just a little sore.
as the page is taken from her, and she gives a nod and says, "Well, with wonderful information. I look forward to hearing back from you about this appointment. Enjoy
It was
the
a pleasure to meet you, Lady of the Night.
You as well, son of Atlas." And she's going to turn, and she's actually now going to walk off this way into the dark, and then simply disappear.
Why am I not surprised?
I'm gonna go up to Labog, tug his shirt, and go, Xena's mommy's here, and I'm scared. I might need to check my pants. I think I pissed them.
Why are you scared of her mom?
I'm talking about her patron.
Well, why'd you call the patron her mom?
This is practically her mom. Come on,
How else are you gonna describe
I
it?
thought Remus.
program.
I thought Remus was because she's hot.
Whoa. That's not his type.
Because she's making me feel thoughts I haven't felt before.
Listen,
My pants don't seem to
But
fit
no,
as
she's
well as they
making me
did a
feel
minute ago.
thoughts. She's making me feel thoughts I think I've thought before.
listen, I'm not RPing that, all right? I'm not RPing Remus being bricked up at the fucking festival, all right? That's not on the agenda tonight. I am drinks deep, but I am not enough drinks deep to do that.
I am. Let's get fucking freaky.
No.
Seth Rogen.
That would be funny. I really want to, but no, I know that would be bad. You're streaming. I gotta keep this
That's something for the
appropriate.
journal.
Write it down. Write that down.
Dear diary, I flirted with someone's patron today.
Dear diary, I flirted with Demon Mommy? ? Goth IHOP?
It's funny because I'm telling you now. I had wrote down like halfway through the conversation. Remus flirted with a demon ?
Yeah, he's just tugging on Luke Bog and he's like, whoa, pause. He's tugging on Luke Bog's shirt. He's like, yeah, I just Xena's patron wants access to the tower. I was able to talk with her, but we might have another guest in. I laid down some ground rules though. So if anything happens, Lupa will handle her. And then you're just gonna see the Greyhound is just
Stone cold, just stone cold face.
like uncanny dog. Like you ask like ChatGPT 1 to generate you an image of a dog. Kind of looking at you.
It's doing the not impressed emoji face, like just a straight line.
Actually, what's your passive perception?
Duh.
No, what's your passive investigation?
9.
Oh, never mind. Okay. What's your passive perception?
His eyes are crossed at all times.
16.
The light kind of dances on its fur in a not necessarily like
The shadows it's
It almost-
producing aren't matching what it should match, and they're dancing around.
yeah.
in weird-
There we go. See, this is why you're here.
Yes. Well, I'm
can't- I
here for
couldn't
other
describe
reasons. I have a role here as, the god of this realm.
Whoa, okay, Mr. God Complex.
Why else do you think I became a DM, bro?
Yeah, I know. I'm fully aware. Yeah, anyways, yeah, that's... But yeah, Lupa's just kind of... The dog's just looking at you like...
What's the dog doing?
Defending his country.
Can Lupa hit the gritty?
No. He's
Like
not...
what's what you call Fallout level animation?
I'm just imagining Lupa on the pommel horse.
Oh god.
Yeah.
You ever see Mama Murphy hit the pommel horse?
That shit's
Oh
wild.
god. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna see if I can get a clip of that.
But yeah. So yeah, Xena's patron is here, and she wants access.
I mean, I'm surprised you just didn't give it to her outright. It seems like we're doing that with everyone.
Yeah, but those are like
You guys keep
normal-ish
RPing,
people. That's like
John.
That's like a normal-ish person, you know. This is a demon high ranking of the 9 hells.
I don't know if she's that high ranking if she has to ask for access.
Maybe she's like a vampire.
I think you
I mean, she's already connected to
underestimate
Xena.
Cerberus.
I don't know. Cerberus got fucked up in the last fight that we did. That we got ambushed at.
Did
Think
he
of
though?
Cypher?
Did
Yeah.
he really get fucked up?
Yeah, he wasn't like missing chunks of flesh and stuff.
Oh yeah, now I remember that.
I have to ask before we go any farther. Ria, what the fuck did you just fucking post in chat?
Oh, hold up. Wait, I gotta see this. What was What is that?
I have recorded what the shit is posting.
Mama Murphy.
It's fun. It's the biggest
Oh.
Fallout 4 shit post I've ever seen.
Bro, what? Yeah, no, that really is. What is that?
Mama Murphy
Wait.
going fucking crazy.
Oh
on that
shit, Mama Murphy
post.
wild.
They added a pommel horse in one of the Fallout workshop DLCs that anyone in your settlement can use except robots. And
She's
it increases settlement happiness, and Mama Murphy can
She
use
going
it.
fucking crazy with
And
it.
that's vanilla.
That's unmodded.
Yeah, that's
Why?
crazy. That's
Unmodded.
unmodded.
So it's a meme in the Fallout community.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, Bog, I'm just kind of looking at you like, yeah, he lost a couple pieces of skin, but he wasn't that phased by it. You know, if like I took off like a good portion of your abdomen, you'd kind of be in shock. He walked back into the tower. Keyword walked.
Yeah.
That's not alarming to you?
Not really.
Okay.
Don't know why I pictured the one goat not really hits the gritty, walks away.
Hits the pommel horse, walks
Yeah,
away.
Yeah.
It just appears.
It just spawns
It's
in
not, even
underneath
like
him.
it's not even like he summons it. It's just like
It's
he's
part
there
of the
and no
emote.
one
Yeah.
questions it.
It's like a frame cut where it's just him standing there, cuts to the pommel horse, then cuts back to him standing there, and it's just like, what the fuck?
It's like during the entire conversation it's been focused on Remus. And then it finally cuts to Labog, and he's on the
Pommel
pommel
horse,
horse
yeah.
the entire time.
All right. At the end of your conversation.
Yeah, this man's unfazed. So yeah,
So
I'm
Grum,
just kind of like, what?
Oh,
you wandered
it's
off.
me.
You see the different vendors. They're selling. There's jewelries over here. There's like, there's someone over here selling like books and bags and things of that nature. There's someone selling like incense and like other goods. Nothing super exotic here. There is a one of the stalls, this one in particular with the red, you can see has the Yoshida clan's logo on it. They look to be selling, things of cherry blossoms and teas that are known that you have definitely tried before during your time with Akira, as well as a couple other commodities that they would be selling. And you see on the opposite side of the fire of where you're standing, a very drunk Lucky.
Imagine my shock. Imagine my shock.
Heavily
I'm
intoxicated.
gonna walk up and I'm gonna buy a decent looking bracelet.
Okay, that's
Two of
gonna
them. Two decent looking bracelets.
I'm just imagining as an
Yeah.
item quality in the game, decent.
50 gold.
Bam, done. As soon as I figure out which fucking character sheet I'm doing this on, I'm doing it on my D&D Beyond. 50 gold.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Best friend forever bracelets. No, I'm kidding.
BFF.
Best feline friend.
So I'm seeing Lucky, right?
Yes.
Where's the nearest? I have to ask. Where's the nearest drink stand? Where's she getting the alcohol from?
Right next to her.
Right,
There's
next to her.
two kegs
Wow.
right here.
Man, I'm not surprised. Fuck it. I'm gonna walk over. I'm gonna grab one.
Just go straight across the fire.
Allie, you know it. I ain't no put. Mama didn't raise no bitch. I walk straight through that fire.
Single tear rolls down your cheek
I'm
as your ass catches on fire.
And I'm gonna say hi to Lucky as I go by. I'm just gonna see how she's doing. Make sure she's not getting too crazy.
She sees you and just Grum. She stumbles over to you, like still without spilling her drink, kind of puts an arm around you and goes, "I was wondering where you were."
Yeah, I was getting the workout with the boys before I came here.
Ah, that's why you were missing.
Yeah, I wanted to go earlier, but I can't skip leg day. I see you're already getting. I look at my drink and I go, yeah, a little into it.
As you were saying that, like she's like looking that, like she's like slouched over a little bit, looking at your legs, and kind of like pokes the side of your leg, and then kind of as you say, getting into it, she kind of pops back up, goes, "You want to know a secret?" She's like, "I started drinking at 7."
I lean over and I go, that's usually when I start too. I don't blame you.
You see her chuck. Roll me. Actually, no, don't roll. What is your passive perception? Passive perception.
15.
You notice as she kind of like laughs a little bit. There's a moment that like you see like her eye almost get red a little bit, and she kind of twinges ever so slightly, and then kind of like immediately just downs the tankard that she has in her hand, and then proceeds to get more from the keg.
Backstory.
You'd also notice in that moment too, there's like, you can see under the fur on her forehead, right around where that 4-leaf clover birthmark is. You can see just under the fur that there is bruising under the skin on either side of it. The same position that like a deer would have antlers.
A stag were cat. A were stag cat.
Or like a jackalope.
A vampire were.
We're just stacking labels on this. We haven't cut anything out. We just keep adding layers for some reason.
Exactly.
The worst chat GPT prompt.
Yeah. A vampire were jackalope cat with a drinking problem.
Damn. So I'm gonna make it obvious I notice, but I'm also gonna make it obvious that I don't really care.
I'm gonna give her that. It's a stun, but like, she's drunk.
Yeah. I'm gonna go in on my drink. I'm gonna start filling up the next one, and I'll look at her and go, I can already tell I'm gonna have a good night, but I do got some other people I don't want to talk to before I get too deep in with you.
Yeah. Go do what you need to do. And she kind of like nudges you away. She says, I'll be here. Drinking it away.
I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come over here, right? And I'm gonna cut across. And I'm gonna go over to Carrie.
As you get ready to cut across, and you look back at Lucky, you see there's like, she went from like the very like happy drunken state to like almost sobering up for a second, standing up straight and like staring at the fire for a minute. And you kind of see that the red pulse in her eye go again before like she takes another drink and shakes her head a little bit. What are while he goes to Curie, what are the rest of you doing? Also, when you were walking there, you do see Ignitus laying in the grass over here with a lantern, kind of staring up at the sky. By himself. No one else is there. He's just laying.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, he's laying in the grass, hands behind his head, lounging, just staring at the stars above.
I'm gonna pass close enough to give him a high five and be like, hey man, what's up? And then reach out for him.
He kind of, very loosely kind of reaches for it or whatever. Just kind of says, just enjoying the eclipse and thinking about my ancestors and what they used to experience with this.
I stop dead in my tracks and I'm gonna go, man, if I haven't done the same thought process far too many times, don't get too caught up in the past, and I'm gonna walk away.
He just gives you a nod. Keeps, staring up at the sky. The others of you, what are you doing? I know, Rhea, you are spending time with your lady friend. Lebog and Remus, what are you two doing?
What are these tents around again? I don't use that up here, the vendors.
Yeah, these are vendors. Then there's a big tent off in the distance that looks to have like trinkets and knickknacks and stuff in the distance. The southwest one over here looks to have various meats and stuff that they're cooking up and giving out. And then across from it, the one on this side looks to be baked goods. Which I should give the stream.
So the one at the top left is like trinkets and stuff?
Yes.
I'm gonna go over there.
Okay. Remus, are you following him, or are you gonna go your own path?
The bog can fly.
I'll follow him.
Okay.
Good God.
Yeah. So Lebog, you get over there,
Yeah.
you're looking around. You see two of the individuals from the Deepwater and Black Tide estate. You see the mechanic that had helped you all, Thalen, as well as the Tabaxi as well named Tika that you had met that was very pleasant to be around. Looking around as well, you see Keto looking at the various like toys and stuff, kind of like picking things up and kind of like looking them over and kind of setting them down, muttering to himself as he does. And you see there is a yellow-furred tabaxi kind of in a set of kind of like a workshop clothing set of overalls with like a vest over top of it, or underneath it, I mean, and a white shirt. Looks to have a set of like tinker's tools on his belt and seems to be messing with something as you're looking around.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what do you want to do? Like that's it. That's.
I'm going around looking at it. Do you want me to move my character around all of them?
No, I'm just like You didn't say anything specific. Okay, you're just looking around.
I haven't seen what there is.
Yeah, you see looking around. There's like dolls, marionettes. There's like plushes for like kids and stuff of like various creatures. Like there's an owlbear plush, there's a wolf plush, you know, a dragon one. There's a thing of just rubber ducks, as well as like ships in a bottle. Various like they're labeled as potions, but you're not sure if they're actual potions or if they're just like fake potions. And then various like wind-up toys and stuff like that as well.
All right, I'm gonna leave him. I'm going down here.
You're just like, I'm out. Fuck that.
Yeah, I saw everything. I'm gonna sit down here. I'm gonna keep writing my journal.
I'm gonna look closer at the potions.
Roll me a investigation.
Oh no.
I came, they saw, I got arrested.
I have one that says like came, I saw, and I forgot what the fuck I was doing. A 9. They look real to you. You kind of pick one up and shake it.
Do they have labels on them?
The one you pick up specifically says, it says a rejuvenation potion, and you can see it has like little gold flakes in it. It's like a red liquid with like gold flakes in it.
What does some other ones look like?
There's rejuvenation potion. There's a one that is called hangover cure. There's one that claims to be a love potion. There's a set in there that doesn't have a specific label, but is like a gross, like greenish brown liquid. There's also one that is it is just called the Potion of Walking.
I'm assuming this Tabaxi cat is the one in charge of this place.
Yes.
I'm gonna pick up that greenish brown one and say, what is this one named?
He looks at it and goes, he's like, oh, what did I name this one? And he like pulls out a small notebook and he like flips through it or whatever. And he goes, oh, it's just a vial potion. I think I ran out of printing labels when I got to these ones.
Oh, that makes sense. And all these potions are real.
They're exactly what
They
they
do
say
what
they
the
are.
label says.
That's right.
Can I roll insight to see if he's lying?
Yeah, roll me insight. Oh, he's 100% telling the truth. There's
Oh boy, I gotta. Oh, I'm buying
You
that
gotta
rejuvenation
steal
when I
right
need that.
here.
he's got a round, soft face. He's the nicest person you've ever. He's a trustworthy
Oh.
person.
You just got that trustworthy face.
Yes.
I'm gonna get that rejuvenation potion.
Okay. He charges you 2 gold pieces for it.
Also, that potion of walking.
With the 3, that's 3 gold pieces in total that he will charge you for these 2 potions.
Thank you, my good man.
Thank you for the business.
I'm gonna go look at what plushies he has.
Alright, you see owlbear, there's a dragon, there's a regular bear, there's a wolf, my brain is trying to rack through other creatures. There's a dinosaur one, like a T-Rex.
Ooh, that would go great with my Velociraptor skull. Now, what else you got?
There's a whale. There's what looks like a hawk. There's an owl.
There's a hawk. They have a raven too.
They have a raven one, yes.
A raven and a hawk too.
Fuck.
Hmm.
A hawk too. Really?
Say that again.
Oh, you all see as a meteor falls from the sky and just hits Lebog in the head and he dies instantly. Oh no.
Oh man, that's
It's on the horse and listen dearly.
Someone recorded and upload to the YouTube.
Yeah.
My
free
final
content.
wish.
Free content.
Yeah. He pulls his eye out and records his final moments. Just, I'm dying. Oh god, cold.
I just see it falling down, and instead of moving out of the way, I just take my eye and throw it out of the way so that it's perfectly recording.
It's a lost film. It's a lost. Lands in the dirt sideways and just drops dead.
Fucking Christ.
And then YouTube is like, we should take the video down because someone died, but he's like one of our most popular people. Like, what do we do? Like, we have to let this known. Do we just blur the image? Ugh. Anyways, yes. Those are the plushes. I'm not giving you any more options.
Why not?
You've overstated your welcome.
Okay, I'll get the T-Rex and a dragon.
All right. Drag these notes across your face. Got him. You are charged. You are charged a gold piece for both of
Is it like a specific dragon, or is it just
those.
whatever color?
You can pick. They slightly represent the actual dragons, but like there's a red, there's a blue, green, black, brown. Is there a brown dragon? No, there's not brown. Yellow. Most other systems use brown dragons as earth dragons. Anyways, gold. There's the ones that look more gold, silver, bronzish. There's one that looks like a like various gem dragons, like diamond, amethyst. Pretty much any of the dragon types you could think of for D&D, there's a color for.
Cool. I got a blue dragon.
Cool. Is that all you're doing over there?
And into my bag it goes.
To be forgotten and never pulled out again.
And that's it for me right now.
All right. And Remus, when you ended up going down to where the meats are and stuff, you do see Cypher with a very large plate of just piled as high as possible with just every meat that they've been giving out, just going to town on this plate, just eating everything as pretty much ravenously as possible. And Asvlor's kind of sitting with him, kind of enjoying some like chicken and just making sure Cypher doesn't get in trouble, and also making sure he doesn't get sick from overeating.
I'll store the books and I'll go get some as well.
Okay. Rhea, is there any RP you would like to do with Elra?
Probably comment that, you know, it's nice having celebration in the hometown instead of having to travel to the city for it.
She nods. Just says, yeah, I do much rather prefer this than what we used to have to do. It's definitely more convenient, and our families get more benefit out of it, since we kind of run most of it now.
How long has it been going on around here?
I think we introduced it 30 or 40 years ago.
Good idea.
Around the same time that the Yoshidas made an appearance in town and became one of our trade partners.
Well, no, I'm just glad I was able to get back to you for this year's event. It's
I am
nice.
as well.
Yeah, she's just kind of like enjoying time with her family.
All right, we'll go back to the dwarf boy.
I was gonna say the next like hour or two is just me hanging out with Kiri. But I did want to do a little bit of RP as I walked up.
Okay, we'll do that real fast.
So
Yeah,
I was.
go to him because I'm kind of checking out here.
Yeah. We're getting to the
I'm
end of
checking
this.
in,
Yeah,
baby.
I'm checking in.
So, I guess the like first hour or so will be this RP, and then I'll probably like jump over to hang out with Lucky or something. So this first bit of RP, while everybody else was doing all that stuff, was gonna be me walking up to Kiri and just sitting down and hanging out. It's just like, hey, you're looking pretty lonely over here. You doing all right?
I'm not entirely lonely. She just kind of gestures to Timus and Aurelia, who are just sitting there talking to each other. So I'm listening to them, enjoying the sounds of, the wind and, the birds and stuff flying overhead.
The little adventure we had in that jungle should have told me the type of thing you would be looking for, nature's type of thing. Figured I'd at least give you a little more company for a little while.
I definitely don't reject the company.
I pull out one of the bracelets as like, here. I picked up a little something. I grabbed one for myself, but I think two would look a little gaudy on me.
Oh, thank you. And she, takes it, kind of looks at it, and kind of, slides it onto her wrist. Kind of looks at how it looks. Says, it's very, very kind of you. I don't think anyone's actually ever given me anything like this before.
I look at her. I'm just like, really? Huh?
Let's just say I traveled for a very, very long time by myself before getting intertangled with this group. Considering my work was as essentially an assassin of sorts.
I can imagine. Pretty much the same idea with me. 75 years of, or around like 60 years of mercenary work. I take a sip of my drink and I go, believe me, I know it gets kind of lonely and you get used to it.
It also doesn't help that, in settings like this, I do tend to be a little harder to see, being more, being a Gloomstalker and all.
A what?
Gloomstalker, and you watch as she stands up and steps out into the darkness, and she completely disappears. And then she steps back in and reappears again.
That's what was happening at the jungle. Oh.
Just a little trick I picked up in my time. Messing with fayish things kind of probably didn't help, but here we are.
And you have connections with the Fae. Why did I pick today of all days to be talking to you? I raise my drink and I kind of go, I planned on getting absolutely plastered today. Not often I actually get to do that. If we're going to talk about stuff like this, I actually want to think of and remember them, I guess you could say.
We can talk another time.
I would love to, but while I still can think a little bit, I'd rather sit, look at the beautiful scenery, and enjoy some good company.
She gives a nod.
And at that point, I would probably like spend the next hour kind of just chit chatting with her. And
I will say, as you are talking with her, you do notice, kind of on the edge of the fire, this individual you've seen before. You see him kind of lean forward a little bit. You didn't initially notice him, but then the fire like kind of glistens off of his amethyst scales. You notice he's been shuffling a deck of cards in his hand continuously the entire time he's been sitting there. Every so often pulling out 3 cards, looking at them, kind of clenching his teeth for a moment, sliding them back into the deck and beginning to shuffle the deck again. He kind of goes through this cycle every 10 or so minutes. He, out of everyone else that you've seen,
I'm gonna point him out to Carrie.
doesn't seem to be enjoying himself.
Imagine my shock. I'm gonna point him out to Carrie and just be like, "You happen to know him? Who is he?"
She leans over a little bit and kind of looks and says, "I couldn't tell you."
I would like to roll a history check. Do I actually remember who he is?
Wait. No, yeah, you would have. Okay, no, because you've seen the journal. So yeah, roll me a history.
Hiya. Oh no. That's actually still not half bad. I was expecting like a negative. A 14.
You don't remember his name, but you do remember him being referenced in the journal, Atlas's journal, that you guys have been using as hints for your journey.
Huh. I'm just gonna like stare for a second and be like, lean back over to Curious. I think I remember him from that journal with all the fancy gubbins that everybody's looking for.
The one that small iron heart kid carries.
Yeah, the one with that talks about like the shield and whatnot that everybody's gathered.
I don't think I've actually been able to see the journal, but I am remembering talks of someone who matches his description. Maybe one of the others knows who he is.
Maybe. I stand at this. How long has it been since I sat down with her?
By this point, it's been like almost an hour.
Nice. I'm gonna stand up. I'm gonna kind of like bow gently a little bit. I was like, I'm gonna go see if I can't rustle some of the other people up. See if maybe there's something we're missing from the journal with him. It was lovely spending the time with you.
It was very pleasant, wasn't it? And she offers you a smile, not something a little more genuine than what you've seen in the past.
Run.
I give her a little wink and I go, "It's time to get a little crazy, though." And I'm gonna start sauntering over to the center where I see LeBog heading.
Do I feel a disturbance in the force?
Yes. You mentioned the others and you sneeze out of nowhere and you're like, someone must be talking about me. Can't click on your character when you're jumping around like a fucking maniac.
Yeah, good luck trying to control me. You don't even know my next move.
I'm not trying to control you. I'm trying to add you to the streamer view. There we go. Trying to make it so the stream focused on you too. Okay, RP, you're getting back together. Get in the band with the boys back together.
I'm gonna appear behind you.
Nothing personnel, kid.
I feel a disturbance. Is there another
Mm.
demon here?
Maybe. Let's talk a little bit. I'm gonna whistle over towards Rhea. I'm gonna wave towards Labog. And I'm gonna kind of walk over here a little bit where there's less people.
All right, I'm gonna prepare Fireball 6th level.
Give Alara a little hug around the shoulder and then head over. Whatever's happening over here.
Yep, she returns it back.
No, no,
You
no,
went, you
no,
went, you
no,
went too far.
Overshot it. Whoa, 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 whoa! Wait, is that a
Yeah.
crocodile sailor? What the hell is that?
no.
Do you remember
I
Cayman?
passed by you, not knowing where
it's-
you went.
That's one of Galleon's boys. Galleon's also standing over there.
I imagine you just crouched behind these barrels. I just completely miss you.
Yes.
Damn, we ain't drunk yet.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Why the fuck? My YouTube videos that I have on other tabs just randomly start for no reason. It's kind of annoying.
you guys all kind
Um,
of like get up behind there, and like as you guys get ready to speak, you hear just like a hiccup from the other side of the table, and like Lucky kind of leans forward and go, "What are we hiding behind here for?"
Nothing. We're more just getting a private place to talk. Come on, come here.
Okay. She just like thinks about going over the table, and she kind of like acts like she's gonna lift a leg and goes, "Nah." And then
Yeah,
goes,
I'm just like no. I'm like holding my hand up like no.
and she goes around the table. Just gonna crouch
Aye,
down right here.
So, I hold a hand up. I go, man, I'm like not even a drink in. I don't remember the little one. Your name? I forget.
Yes.
No, I'm prompting you. What's your name?
Oh.
I forget.
Remus?
Okay, that was it. I was like R something. Yeah. Okay. Do you happen to have the journal with you? The one with the artifacts y'all are looking for?
Maybe. Why?
I point over to the fire where Kiri is, and he's like, on the opposite side of that fire is someone I swear is described in that journal.
I'll look
Do we
over.
all see him?
Can we
is
see
it-
them from here?
Is it in
Yes.
fact who I think it is?
You see an amethyst dragonborn who's looking very distraught next to the fire.
Oh,
What do
Calcifer's
they
here.
want with the journal?
Nothing. As far as I know, they're described in the journal, and they're very ominous to say the least.
He's probably just getting bad fortunes reading.
1 second. Is there somewhere serving alcohol in the area?
Literally, we're standing next to it.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna put a gold down. I'm gonna use Mage Hand, put a gold down,
There's
pick up a mug.
This is open bar. Like what's out here is what will be
Oh.
served.
I'm grabbing a mug and slamming it.
Roll me a con save, little man.
Ah, I am resistant to poison.
Who's letting the 8-year-old drink again?
Honestly, at this point, there's no stopping. him.
11.
All right.
Honestly, yeah.
You let out a hiccup. You're a little tipsy.
All right, let's do this. Ugh.
I have very strong feelings about what he's doing and what he's going to do now.
Adventure.
Where is he going? He's right into the fire. God damn, he's insane.
Where's he?
So I look over towards the rest of the group and I go, we're just gonna let him walk up to the amethyst dragon that I don't know and I think we don't know.
Nah, we've all met him before.
You
This
see
was
Lucky,
before we met you.
you see Lucky hit
Oh,
the ground on the path.
I
Remus is,
turn. I'm like, okay,
stumbling
here we go.
backwards.
I'm
He's like-
running over. Oh, I mean, me and Lobog running over to help.
She's like
I
laying on the
got
ground. She's
this.
just like, oh, I don't remember the ground being this close.
Don't worry. I got something for this.
Whoops, that's the wrong move.
Don't worry, Lucky. I'm gonna cast Greater Restoration. I'm gonna use Shape Water and throw water at her face.
That's rude.
You hit her with this water, and there is a moment of sobriety, and you hear a kind of, and she like jumps up. All the fur sticks up on end as she like jumps up a good like 5 feet in the air from being prone, and then just kind of like stands there just wet. She's just like, why am I covered in water? And then she just kind of shakes
man,
and
what,
like
like-
sprays all of you with water.
I was gonna I go to hold up a hanky as she shakes, and I go ugh, and
Yeah.
well someone was a little bit exceedingly rude while they were going to go talk to someone else, and I look rather pointedly at Remus.
Yeah, she like,
Look at
and-
like arms open, be like, she was on the ground. I got her up.
I'll make a note too. When
Are
she
you
shakes,
a wicked witch of the West? No. Okay, the water's not deadly.
There's a wicked witch in the west.
You're old enough. You should know this.
Like in the meat grinder.
I don't know. West?
Oh, west would be
Eventually, it'll become east.
like, Sarstag would be west.
Okay, so yes,
she
besides the point.
Hashtag's north.
I apologize, Lucky, and then I'm gonna have a mage hand pick up another drink for her. Here you go.
a new drink.
What city are we in again?
Morian
All
Bay.
right.
I'll make a note too. When she shakes off her fur, whenever you like get her wet, it does the thing where she shakes it off and then goes,
It puffs out.
yeah.
I'm still giving her the hanky just to like dry.
I did give her another drink.
She said, thank you, and she like kind of wipes her face a little bit. She kind of gives back the hanky. There's a little bit of blood on the hanky, and then she's like, as she hands it back to you, she just keeps wandering up the path.
I guess we're all going that way then. Everyone else. And I'm like holding my hand out.
We're ambushing them.
Yeah, we're ambushing you.
Get him! I'm gonna settle back down next to Kiri, and I go.
Trigger his
I think I went a
PTSD.
little overboard with getting some help.
You see Lucky get
I'll summon.
you see Lucky get distracted, and she like plops down next to Timus and puts her arms around him and just goes, "Hey, I haven't seen you all day," and just starts talking to him.
No, I think I require further clarification about what we're doing here.
I don't know.
I mean,
Oh,
I
here to
prompted
find out.
that he looks like he's from the journal, and everybody decided to walk over to
Yeah.
interrogate this man.
Oh, Remus
And I ain't
decided
having it.
first.
Remus slammed a drink, and now that he's over here, he's going to go up, open up the journal, and then take the image that's in the journal and kind of hold it up, kind of wobbling, but not fully, not like Lucky's level, but a little shaky. And looks at the picture, and is looking at the dragon. Looks at the picture, looks back at the dragon. Looks back. Yeah, it matches. I think this is a good match.
You know we've met before.
Hi, Calcifer. They've been drinking.
I can tell.
Hey, I call over and as I like shake the one drink, I'm like, "This is barely an appetizer."
And you hear Lucky off and
Barely
Timus
left
go,
on the
Lucky's
"Oh,
here too.
who drank all my beer?"
Look
For a
next
second,
to you. I call
I
over.
said Thomas for a second. Oh, Thomas is back from the dead. It's a miracle.
What the fuck?
Let me wake myself up. I'm gonna I'll splash myself with water. I kind of like rub my eyes and go, "Oh, hey, it's been a while. How you doing?"
Well, things have been better. I'm actually here for a reason. I didn't know the festival was happening today, so it kind of works out. And And you watch as he...
give us bad news?
I hope not, but it's more of a warning. If it turns out to be bad news, I apologize in advance. And you see him shuffling the cards again, and you watch as he kind of pushes 3 cards off the deck that just kind of float into the air. He goes, before I flip the cards, I have to tell you that I have attempted to draw different cards for the last week and a half, and have only drawn these since the first time. So, I assume it is something that's going to affect all of you, considering you have, after the first time, you were the first group that I felt needed to know about this. And he taps the first card.
Whoa. Before you reveal, let me get a seat. And I'm just gonna plop onto the dirt.
Wait. Do I know this guy from somewhere? Purple
Yeah.
Dragonborn who does card stuff.
No.
You
You're mixing it up with your old friend.
I mean, if I had a nickel for every time.
roll me a history to see if you remember exactly who
If I
you're
had a
thinking of.
nickel for every time someone did magic tricks, I'd have 2 nickels. Which isn't
I
a
had a-
lot, but it's strange that it happened twice.
Yeah.
If I had a nickel for every time an amethyst dragon did tarot readings to people in my family,
I'd have. Well, shit. Journey got a lot. Now
Yeah.
there's a lot of nickels.
He looks very
7.
much like an individual you had met once or twice in the past named Cal. Though this one, he is much thinner than Cal was. And,
They had 200 years to lose weight.
well, this is Cal's Fur, his great-great-grandson.
Memory problems.
Your
Memory
dad
problems.
told my mother we were all gonna die.
Your
He
dad
was
told-
wrong.
Yeah, he said we were fucked. The first card that he flips, let me find the cards. Specific description. Here it is. You see upon the top of the card as it flips, the top half of the card shows a large figure in black armor holding up one hand out while drawing a rusty sword with the other. Rats run out from him towards people that are running away from him. A radius of darkness seems to stretch off of this individual and pulls the light and kind of consumes everything around it. The other half of the card showing a amethyst dragonborn in a colorful bardic clothing playing a lute before a crowd of people, hope within their eyes. Light kind of shimmers from him, a radiance that almost seems to cast upon them. And he notes the first was the Beacon of Doom, which is your past, well, your group's past. The power that's made itself known to the world that only seeks to destroy everything in its path. The second card, and he flips it. Where is my card? I really love having to search this long-ass list of tarot cards. On my side monitor. There it is. The second card, you see the top of the card showing a mushroom growing on a severed hand, the flesh decaying and rotting, while the other side of the card shows a small plant peeking up from the earth, representing the beginning of life upon rich soil. The second card he notes is rot. He says, if I'm not mistaken, the only times I've drawn this, there's a presence of decay that is coming for all of you. One that looks to consume all that's in its path until it gets what it wants. The last card he flips. You see on the top half of the card, a hand of demons and devils burning and tearing apart what looks to be a disc of the material plane. The other half of the card showing the material plane within the astral sea, divine hands reaching out and molding it and changing it to fit a better image, essentially. Almost a depiction of creation itself. And he notes the last one as the destruction. He says, all will be lost in the end, but there is a chance that something can be salvaged. And as he says this, the 3 cards almost seem to slide themselves back into the deck, returning as they were before. And he kind of, his hand's shaking a little bit. He just says, I had to come and let you all know of this. As terrible as this is, much worse than any premonition that my ancestors had seen. And I came to request that I be accepted into your group as a aide or I guess a guide of sorts. Not necessarily being on the front lines of whatever you're doing, but to help in the back as needed.
So would I know that this is Cal's descendant?
Yes, with that roll you would have concluded that.
Okay. And what's the relation?
Great grandson, I want to say. There could be more greats in there.
It's not like I know that off the bat.
No,
How long
you
has
know,
it been?
yeah.
I'll be like, I think I knew your ancestor. He was a good friend to my parents.
He
Cal?
was. Yes. The one that I lived up to be better than and have succeeded since, and hope that I don't end up the same fate as he did.
And I was about to say, you're humbled too, but now I'm worried about what happened to him.
He was consumed by prophecy and was driven mad from what he had seen.
That's why I never learned how to read tarot. He did teach me some cool card tricks, though.
Family tricks that are required for the card reading, and you see him kind of like moving cards between his finger as a result. Still staring at the fire, though, kind of past Remus. Just says, though, if you will accept me as one of your members of your tower, I
I'll
would.
slap the coin into his hand.
He looks a little surprised by the like very rapid, like acceptance.
I mean, you didn't ask
just a cool
anything
guy,
of
bro.
us. Hey,
Just a cool guy.
you didn't request anything of us. You gave the information freely and willingly.
For you, the day Bison visited your village. It's an important day of your life, but for me, it was a Tuesday. That's what it's like. That's like giving.
For me, it was a Tuesday.
Here you go.
Yeah, he gives a nod
Oh,
and says, thank you. He says, I didn't know what I would do if I was, if you were to have rejected my offer.
I do have one stipulation.
And what might that be?
You stop worrying for tonight and get some drinks.
You're one to talk, little man.
I'll drink you under the table.
I'd like to see you try. And as I say
Line 'em
that,
up.
I pat Kiri on one of her hands. I stand up. I go, now that I know that we're spelling doom for us and everyone around us, I need another drink. And I walk over.
Lucky goes, drinks! And then goes and follows.
I'm really about to go have a drinking war with an 8-year-old.
Yeah. Cal kind of gives a nod to the comment that he made and says, I guess I can loosen up for a bit tonight. He says, on a more cheerful note, if you ever want tarot card readings of any kind, I can do them. That is more of a group reading than anything else. He specifically said that to Lebog and Rhea, because they're the only two left.
I already rolled my con save. I'm ready.
Maybe
I don't
another
drink.
time.
Of course.
But I'd probably invite this purple guy, not to be confused with the other purple guy, to maybe come over and sit with my family or something.
Yeah, he goes and gets a drink, and then he'll join you by the fire. He goes. Lucky is pounding another tankard as he comes by, grabs one. He'll come in, sit right here.
Dude, come on. You can't say that and expect me not to be doing it with her. Come on.
Roll me a con save. Roll me a con save.
I already
Yo.
I got 19 on my
Oh.
con save. How am I doing?
You are doing very well. Lucky is also doing very well. Like, as well as being already blackout drunk can be.
I got a 28.
Oh, you're doing, yeah. You
No,
are unfazed.
27, I'm sorry.
You are unfazed by this.
Damn.
Yeah, Remus is really feeling it. You're a little tipsy. That's about it. So you lot begin your little drinking war. Cal sits by the fire. Lebog, where are you gonna go? Well, everyone else is doing shenanigans.
I'm gonna go watch the drinking war.
Okay.
Is he screaming it?
He's streaming the drink.
6-year-old takes on 8-year-old in
Yeah.
drinking contest.
Antabaxi of unknown age, you know? Okay.
This
This goes
how
on.
fast we can get Lebog demonetized.
Listen, we've been streaming us killing people.
Yeah.
If I'm not demonetized, nothing's gonna get done.
Ah, fuck, he's right.
We had an entire live stream in hell.
Actually, he was only able to record, didn't live stream, but he did have the footage of it.
And he still uploaded footage of us in hell and a party member sacrificing themselves.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
true.
Yeah. Okay.
Stream was just like, we're now being sponsored by
Raid
sunscreen
Shadow
brand.
Legend.
Come on, you can't even come up with a fake name for it.
Sorry,
What would it
as
be?
as the animating one that I really like, Red Shadow Maggots, you know.
Red Shadow Maggot.
the
I
Team
did
Fortress
find
2
it a spin
version.
upgrade.
It fucking sucks because I know the exact video you're talking about.
And I love it to death. It's so good.
Incursion Light Myth.
That sounds terrible, but it's perfect. It's so bad, it's perfect. Incursion
God
Light
damn it.
Mist.
Light Myth.
Myth.
I need to write down all of the off-brand jank names we have for this universe
I
because
had
it's
yeah.
rapidly expanding.
I had some. We had like Coca Kenku. We had like Dr. Kobold.
What would Margaritaville be called in this universe?
I gotta look at my maps now. Because Margaritaville is a real place. I think it's a real place.
It's just somewhere in the meat grinder.
It's real to me.
It's real to me. As you say that, I'd like to drink another tanker.
Is that not a mood? Real to
Yeah,
me.
it's real to me.
What do you call Fantasy Jimmy Buffett?
Remus is keeping up.
What do you call fantasy Jimmy Buffett?
Bimmy Jeffet.
Remus,
come
Remus,
on.
if whatchamacallit is drinking another tanker, just rolled a con save for Remus's second one. I got an 18. He's trying, but at this point he is struggling.
I feel like you gotta call him Smorgasbord.
I would like to imagine Fantasy Jimmy Buffett's actually just a lizard folk who like discovered like weed and is just like, yeah, this is the best thing ever. And he's like an iguana lizard folk is what I'm picturing.
I remember watching a video of somebody visiting every Margaritaville in the country.
All right, gentlemen, I'm gonna tap out for the night because
Margarita
I've
town.
been staying
Yo.
up way too late.
Let me get to the last thing. So, as you know,
Oh,
the
God.
night goes on, it gets 8 or 9 o'clock at night by this point. It's been dark for hours. Let me explain what happens. The fog.
Oh shit! I forgot it's a solar eclipse
Yeah,
or
the
lunar
fog.
eclipse.
As you are, talking, are watching the thing, you feel a tap on your shoulder. You turn and see Gulvana standing behind you. Just says, "I don't mean to interrupt whatever you're, whatever entertainment you are watching, but may I suggest sticking a bit closer to the fire here in a moment." And before you can,
Why?
before you can even, as you say why, he just kind of gives you a smile and just says, "Just a recommendation," and vanishes.
I hate you.
I gotta ask, do we know this other guy by
No.
name by this point?
His name's Tom. He's just
Hell yeah.
he's just a human guy who started drinking with you guys.
Based.
He's just some human.
Just some guy.
Indiscreet guy, just some guy. He is
Just some
a
random guy. I'm adding him to the tower.
yeah.
Give
Have
him
a coin. Grom, you feel your phone vibrate in your pocket.
Uh-oh.
You check.
I check it.
You have a text from Akira that simply says the words, "The spirits foretell an imbalance between living and dead, decay overtaking and consuming all in its wake, with primal flames being the only cure to this fate."
Just be like, yeah, we know. Just told
Lady,
us.
you're talking to the wrong person with this stuff. I literally talk to the dead all the time.
Remus, Lupa grabs you by the collar of your shirt and drags you towards the big bonfire over here.
Who?
His dog.
Ah!
And for Rhea, as you are sitting there, without even trying to summon him,
I'm
Voltian-
gonna kind of pull Lucky and Labog closer to the fire, just in
Voltian
case.
appears before you and starts whimpering and whining, and kind of like tries to grab like at your shirt and kind of pull you closer to the flames. But yeah,
I'm just gonna see his concern and maybe like gesture for like, all right, to like
How
get
lucky you over
the rest of the family to kind of do the same.
that's what.
I guess we're all coming over here.
Yeah, the bigger fire is where everyone's being dragged to.
I was gonna say, in
just said the
the
fire.
panic of getting dragged over by Lupa, would I be able to panic summon Draconic Spirit?
Sure.
I'm also gonna wave John over. It's like, hey, John,
Actually,
Kiri,
I'm gonna hold
hello.
off on doing that. I don't know what's about to happen.
You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna tell Lucky, hey, stay next to the fire. I'm gonna sprint over here.
Okay, before you get all the way there, so you're roughly here is the point you'd get to. You hear a number of raven calls. Normal at first, they sound normal, but there's something about them that there's like a guttural reverb from them that doesn't seem quite right. And then, as John is also walking over, and you see all these other people kind of around, just looking around, kind of figuring out what had happened. A few ravens fall from the sky and land near some of these people, just hit the ground, their bodies kind of splattering, a very vile smell coming from them. Some of the people looking confused, some look at these corpses, and as these people who don't have icons look around at these, you hear a couple of them begin to cry out in pain as you see their bodies rapidly decaying. And they all, it only did some of them. All right, I thought my thing
No,
worked.
Tim.
You see Tim look toward it, pretty much collapse and just turn to dust in front of you as he hits the ground.
Oh, Tim, no.
Yeah, Tim just gets
No.
fucking ashed.
Damn, I didn't know we're fighting Thanos.
Yeah. And as this happens, you see, you hear the others letting out cries and stuff, moving towards flames that they're nearby. I'm gonna do my rolls after the fact for all of these characters. As you all are looking around though and seeing this stuff happening, you hear off in the distance, one, Aurelia screams, and as she does, she is actually going to, due to her affliction that you all know about, you watch as she bursts into flames, as she has done a couple times before, lighting up all the space around her, actually saving Timus from what you see these like rotting. Oh wait, I'm using. You know, I just realized the song is still happy. Let me put the right song on. There we go. And you see as these like rotting like vine like tendrils kind of like lash out towards him, and as she bursts into flames, they kind of recoil back away from her. You see as Kiri
Fuck that Kenku, though.
sprints over here, kind of managing to get to the flames. These tendrils getting to the edge of the flame, like the light of the fire, before recoiling back from the heat. Off in the distance, you then hear Ignitus shout, you know, pretty much a cry for help before a very angry roar comes from him. And you watch as the entire space around him burst into flames. Let me see if I can find what I'm wanting to do with this. We're going to use this for the thing, but this whole space and the fucking chat can't see this shit. The entire space burst into flames with a massive explosion. And as, you know, all of this happens, you look out into the darkness. You see glowing yellow eyes looking at you from a distance. More of these ravens falling down and hitting the ground, exploding out this, like, decaying mist around them. And in the midst of the chaos, as this, you know, happens, you hear a sinister laugh. Some of the other party members kind of making their way closer to you. Walls of fire begin to form around these bonfires as your party members attempt to repel whatever rot is approaching. And as this kind of happens and this whole space kind of lights up, you hear in a very echoey, sinister voice kind of echoing over the wind, almost as if it is coming from every creature that you see within the dark. You hear the words, forego your artifacts and leave this place, or worse things will fall upon you. You have until morning, and then my pets will begin their hunt, consuming all in their wake with rot and decay. And don't try to find me. It will only lead to your end. And you watch as these creatures begin to back away into the dark again, the eyes disappearing. Whatever ravens hit the ground that decay rapidly just kind of turn to dust and vanish, leaving just remnants of whatever was there. And in this kind of moment, you know, Ignitus kind of comes limping over. You can see his leg is.
I was gonna say I'd be like I'm already on his way, my way to him.
Yeah,
so.
you get to the edge of the light where he is, and you see his leg is mangled and like wrenched in a weird way. He shouldn't be standing on it, yet he's trying to. You can see the scales along that leg have turned like a black color, almost as if the layer of skin is rotted. And you see him kind of like wincing as like with every movement. You also notice the crests on his head, though, the very draconic features he has have seemed to gotten a bit more draconic from whatever happened. And you also see on his shoulders there is the very small sprouting of like wings beginning to grow. So whatever happened to him, because his vest that he normally wears is completely burnt, so he's barely wearing like clothing on his shirt's gone. His pants are still mostly intact, with the exception of the rot on one side, and the burn marks. And he is struggling to keep consciousness. The only thing keeping him awake right now is the pain in his leg.
Got a healer here, right?
I'm Akira? No. She ain't here.
He said a healer.
Oh, a healer.
I
No.
I have the ability to cast remove curse, but
But I'm
Don't-
saving that for a special time.
Yeah.
I
a mixture
more
of
so
cool.
don't know if this is a curse.
Yeah, I'm saving that
I
for
mean,
a special.
I drag him
special-
over towards the light, and I
Yeah.
go, "Hey, what the fuck is this shit? Medicine check."
I'll
roll
roll
me. Yeah,
something.
roll me medicine.
Not
Would
bad.
I be able to
18.
cast? Can I do an arcane check on it?
Sure, roll me arcane. What was the medicine
So
check?
an 18 on medicine and whatever he gets.
I got a 19 on arcane.
Okay, with that, you can tell definitely yes. His leg is rotted. Or parts of his leg are rotted. The rot doesn't seem to be further spreading, but it does seem to be there. In addition to that, though, with the arcane check, this is a form of curse, but it is a very, very, very powerful ancient curse. This is like the equivalent of a curse of like a Baba Yaga's type curse. Something very, very powerful that is old, can't be removed through normal means. And with that Arcana check, you would also be able to know this kind of curse can only be removed by killing the source.
I can't remove this myself. We have to kill the creature that set this. Give me a little bit of time and I might be able to make a scroll of tiny hut. And those who are unable to fight or injured, we could put them in there and they'll at least be safe until the morning.
I think the danger is gone. At least for now.
I'm going to
giving us
gesture
until
around
morning.
to the many yellow eyes.
No, they
surrounding us.
have disappeared.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. After the voice
I
said,
don't
"Do
wanna
not come."
find
Yeah,
out.
yeah. After
He's
the
giving
voice
us
said
until
stuff like
morning.
the thing had said, "You have until morning to leave your artifacts and go."
Yeah, 24 hours.
I don't like how he's privately rolling.
Don't talk to me.
Listen, I can't remove the curse, but I do have this, and I'm gonna hand you a book. I'm gonna go.
And who?
I'll hand you the book to take a look at. Would you like to open the book? Don't worry, it's word triggered.
Who is you?
You.
Who is you?
I wasn't. Oh, okay.
I'm gonna
what-
go up to
what
Grom and
is
go,
it?
I
And
have
I-
a possible solution. And I'm gonna show you the book.
And what is it?
Several dozens pages of glyph awarding.
I look at it, I look back, and I give it to you. I was like, I think we'll save this as a last resort.
He keeps rolling, and I'm terrified.
Either way, the tower probably seems like the best spot to go right now while we have time.
I don't think we're gonna make it there. But
Before morning,
Ace
it's
said
only like 9 o'clock.
if you want to step out this light, be my guest. But I'm not finding out. He keeps rolling, scared.
You see, this voice
Do we
has to
give,
salute the artifacts, but there's still like the other like 6 of them in the tower. Like, what does it want us to do with that?
It said
Like, it didn't really think this thing through.
It says you have until morning, and it's wanting you to get your artifacts. Leave them.
Hey,
essentially.
Celtic, did you give Elira her sorcerer class and everything?
No.
I was gonna ask if she had any magic that could help.
Cal also looks at it. I'm not gonna move his icon, but he also has the healing magic and kind of looks upon the wound and kind of gives the same, there's nothing I can do about this one.
It's ancient magics. Well, either way, the tower is probably the best bet. It wants the artifacts, most of which are back at the tower. It's either we go to the tower or we watch people die.
What about everyone here?
There are going to be some of the people dying if we don't go.
I'm gonna summon my familiar. and I'm gonna send it out into the dark. I'm gonna send it this way.
Okay.
What happens?
It goes out. It does not see anything for anywhere within the 200-300 feet that it travels away from you and travels around.
I'm gonna stand up. I'm gonna go gather the others, and I'm gonna run to each of the fires and grab
Hey,
people to head back.
hold up. You have a loud voice, yes?
He does have a loud voice.
Okay, I'm just gonna raise you up on a platform. The dirt underneath you is just gonna rise.
But I mean, I guess I could do that. Yeah, sure. I yell out for everybody to gather around this fire so we can head out.
Well, maybe it would be a good idea. I'll look to Elira and ask her. Can we take people to the manor to protect them?
She gives a nod and says, I think we can do that, especially those that are wounded by whatever this is that's happening. And as you all kind of gather everyone together, you find there are several people afflicted with various degrees of rot. You see that Cypher kind of has these rot marks on the back of his head and kind of on parts of his head. As Valor, his hair has fallen out in patches. You see that Galleon Dredge, the naval captain that you had traveled with, who is also here, and some of his crew has also been infected with something. Kind of taking them all to various, you take the ones that don't belong to the tower back to the manor, to be taken care of and assisted, essentially, while the rest of you return to the tower. As what you could tell, the only person who has been unaffected by this within your party has been Kodrak. Everyone else has rot of some sort.
Even John?
Even Remus?
No, I'm not saying you guys. I'm saying your other party members. Yeah, even John.
What about how's my family doing?
They are all fine. Everyone that was
Okay.
around this fire was fine. The others who were far away were not as lucky. And you find the only people remaining are those that were from the tower. A yellow-furred, kind of little chubby tabaxi that has a bit of rot on him. He's coughing heavily. The Galleon Dredge, the chef of his ship. Cayman, his first and second mates. And then you know that Bree, the gardener of the Deepwater Estate, and the two mechanics are also infected with rot. And as you all, take them to a place of safety, leaving behind these fires that to slowly die away in the eclipse. The fear of whatever is to come in the back of your minds. We're going to end tonight's session.
Damn.
So, hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, join us join the Discord and follow us on Twitch whenever you want updates on when we go live. And if you want to catch up on previous episodes, but check out the YouTube where we have everything organized in their own playlist. And as always, we hope to see you all in the next one. Goodbye.